Good evening, everybody. Welcome. It is officially 9:01 p.m. U.S. Central Standard Time. And my friends, welcome to the RantCast Podcast. I am your host. I'm joined by the other host here, Kurgan. And we are going to begin here very shortly. Just going to get some things tweaked. While I'm doing that, I'm going to kind of do my my call out here. Kind of do my little shout outs. Give me 1 second here. Alright. Music that you hear was brought to you by Dark Cyber Music. Once again, I am Josh. I'm also known as the Strange Bus. I'm bringing Kurgan on here. Also known as HeroQuest Fans. You can find him at twitch.tv/HeroQuest Kurgan, you're on. Ever you're ready.
Podcast. Hey, buddy.
You go.
How's it going?
Going too loud. It cuts you off every time. Every time.
Podcast. RantCast.
I'm good.
Podcast.
I'm enjoying my tea. I have my hat on backwards because I'm trying to hide my age. Hi, kids. I'm also a kid, just like you. I almost forgot my entire intro there because it's been a bit. Every time I miss a stream, which is usually every time lately, I get like all weird because I don't prep anymore. So we're doing things on the fly. But how are you? How are you doing?
I'm keeping busy. Keeping busy. A lot of stuff I still got to get done in anticipation of Gen Con. I've got stuff I got to print out. The weather's gotten nice, and in my local area, there's a bunch of like frat celebrations going on. So if you hear like drumming and people screaming, that's what that is.
Oh yeah.
That's fine. Got to keep that energy up because this is the RantCast.
Parties were pretty prevalent over there, if I remember right.
Yep. Yeah.
Not revealing where you live, but college.
Nope.
You're by college neighborhood though, right?
Yeah. So you can narrow that down. So all the different college towns. If you see a guy that looks like Will Ferrell running naked down the street, streaks. It's like, well, then you've joined the old school.
Yep. We're going streaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. People tell me, oh, you should just show up at one of the parties and be like, oh, who's that incredibly old guy? Like,
10 to 1.
Your dad's here.
10 to 1 nowadays. They'd probably just be like, well, welcome. What do you want to do?
Buzz. I don't even know, old man.
What do you want to try? We got tons of things. Go get drunk.
Yep.
Yeah, but we got a good show. It's gonna be pretty relaxed. A lot of good topics actually. But as far as everything else goes,
more topics than we have time to talk about.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't get to pre-prep because every time I pre-prep, I've tried to pre-prep twice, and I've had internet issues. Now I don't have internet issues. In fact, Twitch is telling me my bitrate is too high this time. So it is going like wildly up and down, but it's like super high. So I think I'll be okay this time. I think we'll be all right. So that's a plus. That's a plus. I got my internet fixed.
I like your new intro.
Fixed is going to get. Yeah, I cleaned up my stream a little bit. Which I've been trying to do for the last 8 months.
Yeah,
and
it's hard to get to those things.
Yeah, literally, as the baby's getting older, I thought things would get a little bit easier, but time is literally a thing I cannot afford. It's the only thing I can't afford. Can't buy more time. So
nope.
And unless I am going to tell myself, hey, I don't work tomorrow, or hey, I'm not doing anything tomorrow for work, I can pull an all-nighter. I do that sometimes, still at 32 years old. I pulled a 48-hour marathon once and cleaned up my stream, and I played some Yakuza 0, and that's exactly what I did that night. The night where I played Mafia 2 and Yakuza 0, I stayed up all night, and then I cleaned up my stream in the morning, went to work, took care of the baby the same night, which had me up every hour, and then I took a nap and went back to work.
And the really crazy thing is, during that whole 48-hour stream, he didn't kill anyone. Never. Not even once.
Not even once. It was a 48-hour stream. I did like an almost 8-hour stream in which I played Mafia 2, and I did kill some people. And I had problems with Mafia because it's old.
That at least 8 hours of the stream would just be me sleeping, and then I'd pull a Snoop Dogg and be like, better not have been streaming this whole time.
Yeah, and see, I don't know. I find stuff to keep your brain productive. That's what I do. Like, I've almost fallen asleep on stream once before, and that was, I think I mentioned this before, but if you check out my KOTOR 2 stream, it was during a time when I think I did a full 48 hours. It was one night I played, and then the next night I played again, and um, and I tried to go a third time, and that was in the morning when I was streaming, and I there was nothing going on during that quest. I was just running from one end to the next, and it was so loopy that when I was running, I was drifting. Like I'd go like this, and so I was reviewing that footage, and you could see my eyes kind of daze a little bit, and I was like, oh. But luckily, I was like, I don't know if I was far away from the camera or I looked the other way. The time where I drifted out and came back, it just looked like I was bending over to get something come back. It wasn't like I bent over to fall asleep. It's like I went away from the camera, and then I started to lean to fall asleep, and then I caught myself. It looked like I was just bending over to get something. So luckily, it didn't look like I passed out or anything.
Yeah, you would.
And my character was still moving around.
So like, can we get a welfare check on this guy? Is he all right?
Yeah. So and it was like, it's like one of those things where like you like drift for like, I don't know, 5 seconds, and and then you catch yourself. So
that's how people have accidents on the road, fatal accidents.
Yep.
Yep.
Your brain literally just reboots pretty much. So I pretty much
I played games for almost 8 hours straight once. I mean, I took lots of breaks, but I mean, I like when I'm trying to remember which of the WWE games it was, but it's like it was ending. It was probably WWE 14. And it was like, I knew it was the last day that they were going to have it online. And so I'm just like, I'm just going to play it the whole day. Like, I had the day off, and it was just I just played 8 hours. I thought
you were talking about it like it was going to be like I got it when it was new and I played it all day. Man, you were talking about like, here I am still playing 14. It's 2021. And they're taking it offline.
No, I mean, those back then, they would take the game offline after like, I think 24 months after each release, and then they would release the next one. It was just like, you know what? I've got time. I'm going to play it. And so I just, got up, in the morning, logged on to Xbox Live, played some games, go to the bathroom, do breakfast, come back, play some more, get lunch, play some more, just like, and then throughout the day, you're just like, oh yeah, and it goes through all the players from your friends list. And then at the end of the night, it's like, well, it was nice playing with you. That's it. And then because of the time difference, we're like, well, I wonder what time zone they're shutting it off in. So we're like, well, let's start one more game and see if it works. And so we played some more. It's like, well, let's just start one more game and see if it works. Just like, okay, make it last as long as you can. It's like, oh man. And then the final match that we did, it was like, oh, it had to end. We couldn't do any more. And it was like, oh well.
Oh well.
Yeah, but that was fun. But I think if I did more than that, I would just be so exhausted. So I don't know what you have in you, but
I like I said, I find things to be productive. I'm on a lot of caffeine usually. I do have, like I said, there are times where I'm either on. I do it on times when I'm coming back to certain medications, so I'm not
Yeah, I
overdoing
suppose that
anything.
would
So please keep that in mind. But
be
it's
responsible.
yeah, it's just the thing that I pretty much do things on a routine, so I'm not always staying up all night all the time. But it's I just feel better some days. I'm like, all right, let's go. I had a couple dad naps. I'm on my second cup of coffee, and I'm ready to
Hey,
roll.
Ruby.
So, hey,
Speaking
what's
of
up,
ready to
Ribby?
roll,
Yeah. So,
hey, Ruby taught me how to play RantQuest, and let me tell you, it's a fun game,
oh
but it's
yeah.
got a lot of complicated rules compared to HeroQuest. So
Well,
old,
so we can get the
old.
ball started. Yeah, just to summarize, yeah, it's just been real busy for me. Like I said, coming into the 4 kid world from the 3 kid world, it's just um, added some more slots onto my time schedule, like always. But yeah, I did get some stuff done that I wanted to, and feeling pretty good. So, depending on how long we go now, I'll probably do some more Yakuzans. Um, what else? Oh yeah, so we've got a couple of topics. We've got
Yes, indeed.
Hasbro up to their old has-no dealings again. Um, I actually wrote
Well,
things down today, and
I bet there's going to be a couple of different takes on this, so I'm kind of interested in how you're gonna
oh, hey, that's okay.
approach
People
Hasbro
disagree
thing.
with me. I'm completely fine with that.
They're
We
wrong, of course.
also
Unless it's me, then I'm right. I said out loud. I didn't mean to.
we've got
Okay.
um, we've got people getting Nintendo scrutinized for their Pokemon transgressions in Japan. And then for some other
Mm.
topics, Warner Brothers contradictory. This is proof of big companies doing bad things, people. Um,
Oh, shock.
would you
Shock
like to
horror.
know that Warner Brothers is cutting costs and shutting down movies, but man, their CEO David Zaslav's living high and mighty as they just rose his fucking compensation up 26.5% last year.
So
Um,
glad. I'm so glad to hear that.
good to
I
know
was
that the
worried.
rich are still carrying us downhill. Um, and then next on our docket is we have, um, you know, I'm not much for Yu-Gi-Oh, but it's really nice when you get those card tournaments and everything. And we get uh, uh, a diverse player base. So
Mhm.
more and more female players are entering the scope of card tournaments, and one female Yu-Gi-Oh fan entered a card tournament recently, early April, and decided she was noping out of it because the entire facility reeked really bad from especially from a certain individual. So she noped early. So we're gonna find out a little bit more about that later as well. And this was I believe, a Japanese tournament as well. So keep that in mind.
See, stinky gamers. When are we gonna get past this stereotype?
Yeah.
I mean, Warhammer had a good thing going. It's like, listen, fans, you can get a deodorant stick and you can turn it into a hover tank for your army.
My
You
thing
can get
is,
a shampoo bottle, a soap container. It's like,
so hold on. First of all, Kurgan, where do you want to start? We want to start on HeroQuest, or are we starting on Stinky
oh,
Yu-Gi-Oh? Because I'm free to go with either
more
one.
like Yugi Bo, if you know what I'm saying. Hey, yeah, get him on it. Cut his mic. He's gone.
He's gone. Get
All right,
him out of here.
get
Get
him
the
out of
fuck out of
here.
here.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, oh.
Okay,
Speaking of which, on a side note,
ooh,
I have been
gotta say it.
binging. Yeah, because we've mentioned this before, but I've been binge watching The Sopranos. I have never watched that television series ever. I've heard about it. I have. I've seen clips of that show, but
Yeah, I've
I've
never
never
watched it
fully
either.
watched it. And man, am I glad I did. It is one hell of a
Really?
show. Yeah, it's one of the shows that helped change network television.
Okay, fair enough.
Because it's an kind of um, early HBO
Original
series.
series.
James Gandolfini is amazing with his acting. The guy was kind of not a really big known actor, I don't believe, but the guy really acts with his face. Like, does a great job. So I would recommend it if nobody's ever watched it and they're kind of a mafia type person. Um, but yeah, I would recommend it.
I have a
So
hard time with gangster stuff. I'm not usually drawn to it. But there's definitely some standout examples. I mean, I did watch Goodfellas and Casino and all three Godfather movies. Unfortunately, first one was pretty solid. I
yeah,
know a lot.
see,
Second one has a lot of fans. Um,
my opinion of
yeah,
it is it's a little bit different than those because like those
Scarface.
they have their stereotypes and they have their like their traditional factual stuff about the mob. With the Sopranos, it's kind of like it's a little different because it's like dramatized TV, but it's got like a lot of like I don't know, it's got a lot of big anti-hero trope stuff in it. Like
Okay,
you, for me personally, I feel less for the main characters, and I feel more anger towards them a lot of the time because they're criminals, right? And that's how they treat the characters most of the time is
scumbags.
like scumbags, yeah. So you'll start off with the main character talking to their therapist, and they'll bring up a topic about like women or something, and then you'll kind of go along with that topic, and then like it will go in a whole nother direction, and you'll wonder like what the hell, and then the reason it went in that direction is you'll totally get it as you start to discover his character. So um and it's
Okay,
yeah, pretty big, but um yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. But
I'm watching the Mission Impossible movies.
oh man, that's a big step. I think I binge watched those back I think when it was 6 or 5, and
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
I think that's when my interest kicked off. It's like when I have to
Uh,
like, cause I really like to make sure I'm caught up, like, just in case they bring up something or there's something else going on. And I know when they start to do like sequels, like in the nines or tens, they start to kind
mhm.
of stop with that because they don't really want you to do it. But like
Yeah,
that, I think the last Fast and Furious came out, and I was like, I'm good. I think I watched 10 of them before, and I'm like, eh,
dang.
yeah, I'm
I
good.
saw the first. I saw the first one actually this past year, and I was like, "That's okay. I don't need more of that. That's fine." With Mission Impossible, though, I mean, I was never a watcher of the original show, so that puts me in a totally different category as a lot of people. But
Mhm.
the first movie was like an event. Like my friends and I, everybody that saw it was just like, "This is the coolest." Like we were always referencing it. And it's funny because it was just kind of a thing in the moment because it's not like I, went and bought it on DVD and watched it every day. It was just, yeah, that's just a movie I remember fondly. And I heard that the second one was really bad, and I watched it and it was really bad, and it put
You
me
didn't like
off
it?
this series. Nah, I thought it was it was really silly.
I liked it.
Um,
I didn't mind it. It wasn't too bad.
but but I mean, it was such that when the third one came out, I was like, I don't even care. I mean, I wasn't angry. It was just like I don't have any interest.
So,
But
um,
over the years, I've heard people say, no, 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 give it another shot. I'm like,
you
okay.
should.
And I started watching 3, and I'm like, oh, I'm liking this so far. I'm like
Yeah,
halfway through it.
Tokyo Drift was fucking awesome. And uh,
Tokyo Drift.
you watched them all,
That was the
right?
second Fast and Furious. No, Fast and Furious? Or
Yeah.
you're asking?
No,
No,
Too
no,
Fast, Too
I've only
Furious was the second one. Tokyo Drift
oh
was the
what
third one.
oh man, see, it shows what I know. I've seen the first Fast and Furious movie. That's it.
Okay,
Until
so
Fast, until Furious.
small spoiler for
And Mission
anybody.
Impossible, I've seen the first two.
So, just small
Go
spoiler
ahead.
for anyone. If you cars are light and the tires are slick. Yeah. So the the best part about those movies and the reason I watched a lot of them all the time, and really Mission Impossible and Fast and Furious really weren't too far apart. They were around the time when those movies were really kicking off. But
Yeah,
uh so
blockbuster
the big
movie
thing here was
action.
Vin Diesel was kind of like at a point when those movies when he was trying to like spin them around and he like got smart with it and kind of made like a comic book and everything about it. When Tokyo Drift came out, some people didn't like it because it was all like, "What happened to Vin Diesel? Where's all the main characters?" And then like he shows up at the end, but I think after a couple movies, they
Mm-hmm.
spin Tokyo Drift into like I think it's like the sixth or seventh movie. So it makes it like Tokyo Drift is really in the storyline that far in. So they're bringing that dude's character into the movie like that far in. So it's kind of like a thing where while you're watching the movie, the story is kind of like breaking down in sections. So they're not just like mindless like racing action spoofs. There's an actual story somewhere in there. But you kind of have to pick apart Vin Diesel's like lectures about family and the random cars jumping all over the place. And then once you get to like I think Paul Walker's last hurrah, um, you start getting
Oh yeah.
ridiculous car stunts and like that. Yeah, I think I saw the one after that and I was good. But
Mhm.
like yeah,
Well,
that
we'll see. We'll see how it goes with Mission Impossible. So far, I'm riding high on the fumes of
those
Part
were
3.
good. Yeah, those were good. I liked those
Well,
movies.
and I was forgetting because I think in my mind, like it's all come back to me. But like for a while in my head, I was starting to confuse my memories of the first Mission Impossible, the first two Mission Impossible movies with like Jack Reacher and like, other movies of that kind of like spy action genre.
You didn't
But
like Jack
Mission
Reacher?
Impossible definitely, yeah, definitely had you know, its own vibe, with the humor and the gadgets and
The first one was probably my favorite.
yeah.
Only because like it was
Definitely see it again.
nostalgic and it had a really good Nintendo 64 game that I'm really nostalgic about, and like everything revolved around that first movie because that first movie like boomed, and then they were like, "Fuck it, pump out a second one." Like they
Mhm.
just needed to keep going, and then
Yeah.
Tom
Well,
Cruise, just with how famous and popular and culty he is literally keeping that series alive himself. So
yeah, that guy has it reinvented himself so many times. Like, and as weird as he is, he still gets it done. So
I don't
you're
know.
seeing Mr. Cruz.
I don't know if he's got like some sort of weird demon like spirits that surround him. That's where
Yeah,
he can just hold on to planes
got
and
to get him on Cameo. It's like
fucking
this
Les Grossman,
this this
best
is Tom Cruise, and
best part.
you're watching the RantCast. Why would you do that? You're a jerk. You're a jerk. Don't
No,
run
no,
away.
you
Think
get him
that's
as
funny?
Les Grossman with the balding haircut and the big fucking monkey like hands. You will watch the Radcast or I will fuck you up.
Oh, Tropic Thunder. Yeah. See, now there's a movie, Tropic Thunder. It took me 4 attempts to watch that movie. But man, when I finally pushed through it, I now I understand why people like that movie. It's just so weird.
That
And
fucking line
it
screamed
it's
in my head. Ribby put that in there and scorched earth, motherfucker.
yeah. I'm sure he had a
Sorry.
blast in that character. Just
Oh,
completely
dude.
against type. Yep. Yeah. Check it out. Tropic Thunder. If you're easily offended, forget it. But if
Oh,
you have a
yeah.
sense of humor, yeah.
I watched that movie recently, not too long ago. I think when I first moved. moved in here, and how I'm gonna be moving out. I'm gonna miss this place. I think I'm gonna watch it again. We're talking about it now. I'm gonna watch it again. That is a movie that, like, yeah, it's got some dated pieces in it, but
Yeah.
it
Well,
doesn't
that
it works. It's what, like, because it's those pieces are useful for the movie, so it's not like
it
they're just,
totally makes sense in
yes, they're
context.
not
Yeah.
just doing it to be, like, wacky. I mean, they are being wacky, but like I said, there's a way to fit those things in. But
Yep.
yeah,
Well, and the style of humor back then was just go over the top. But
well,
yeah, it
like, Robert Downey Jr. explains that, like, he was advised very heavily not to play that role, and he did it anyway. So
he was just a dude who thinks he's another dude playing another dude.
yeah.
I biffed up the line, but yeah, you got to see it in context.
I'm a dude disguised as a dude disguised as another dude.
Yeah, who thinks he's another dude.
But
Yep.
yeah, so we're all having fun here,
Yeah.
doing fun things. I'm glad that you're doing Mission Impossible. Like I said, I would. What's up, King? How you doing, bud?
Hey,
Welcome in. But yeah,
RantCast.
I uh, I'm I would watch all those movies again, but man, you never go full RantCast.
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Well,
that.
the funny,
I can't say that line on Twitch, but
yeah.
that's a great
The
way to.
funny
That's a
thing is,
great way to censor it.
I listen. I actually rented Forrest Gump and watched it for the first time since I saw it in theaters because I was thinking about Simple Jack from from Tropic Thunder. So yeah, I got to relive those memories too. I'm not a
There are.
smart man, but I know what the rant cast is.
I miss Ben Stiller too in certain roles.
Wait, he
That
died?
guy said no. He's not. He doesn't do a lot
Oh,
anymore.
oh, okay.
It's-
God. Ah,
Will he die?
not Ben Stiller. You're like, I miss him.
You
You miss him
mama
being in the
mama.
spotlight.
Yep. I like how, like, our topics just went away. We started talking about Tropic Thunder. Lieutenant Dan.
And at the end, he's like, Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
Did you know I was watching the behind the scenes thing. I'd never seen it before, and it was like, oh, so okay, so the ping pong ball was CGI, and the accent that he uses the whole time is like based on the little kid version of himself in the movie. Like he just imitated the kid, and that's
Oh,
cause you're my
interesting.
girl, Jenny.
Hmm.
He would just pronounce stuff in kind of an odd
And from
way. How
that
are you?
day on, I was running.
Yep, good old Forrest Gump.
Another movie I haven't seen God knows how long.
The CGI is pretty dated, but I remember it being bad back then too. But gets the job done. It tells the story. They gotta
I've
go
read that.
home now.
I've watched the movie and I've read that book.
It's oh, so you're ahead of me. I've never read the book.
The
Isn't he
book,
like 300 pounds in the book?
I can't remember. I'd say I can't remember that. I just remember there was a his story, because I think, like, he gets a lot more exaggerative in his stories in the book. Like, he
Ah, so he's an
was
unreliable
hired by
narrator.
John Kennedy to go and be an astronaut, and he describes his entire, like, voyage and stuff like that in one of those things. And
Mhm.
there was also some, like childish tropes. I mean, you get like childish tropes in the movie, but, like, I think there was one point in time in the book where he described, like ripping a huge fart on an airplane next to somebody or something like that. I just remember doing, like, just reading that and, like, laughing my ass off. But I was in high school, so
Sure, sure. So it was a hit, and the movie sounds like the movie tried to make it more grounded. I mean, he definitely it's like, oh, he just happens to
I
be in
think
all these
yeah,
historical events.
yeah, like, I think they cut it for time, because,
Mm.
like, yeah, I think there were like 2 or 3 more adventures he went on that were not in the movie.
See, I'm kind of curious now to check it out. And then there was a sequel I heard that the sequel acted as if the movie happened in universe, but it was like it was falsified, and so like he like the publicity from the movie like ruined his life or something. So it's like,
Really?
wow, okay, yeah. I forget what the sequel is called, but I just read that and I was like, wow, okay.
That just sounds like horrible. I've never heard of the sequel, and
Oh yeah.
oh wow, yeah.
Sequel to Forrest Gump. It's called Gump and Company.
And Tom Hanks was in it.
No, this is a novel. Um,
Oh,
the original novel was 1986. This novel came out after the movie version, but it acts as if the movie, like, not that the movie happened, but that the movie was a fictionalized version of his life that like caused like bad publicity for him.
I get it. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, it's good to
It
know
says
you're
on the first
doing.
page, he tells the readers, don't ever let, I'll do the voice, don't ever let nobody make a movie of your life story, whether they get it right or wrong. It don't matter.
Well, like I said before, it's good that you're doing the Mission Impossible stuff because I haven't seen those in a while either. Well, once again, probably early couple years, so I've watched a good chunk of them.
One of the guys from the community was telling me about Forrest Gump. Yeah, I think it might have been his Bizargan actually. And he was talking about it. And so I think it was in my head to watch it anyway. And then I was thinking of Tropic Thunder. And it came up again. It's like, fine, I'm just going to watch it. So, yeah. Forrest Gump, ladies and gentlemen. All right, well, that's all the time we have on the RantCast. Oh, no, we were talking about other things. HeroQuest. You want to hear about HeroQuest?
Yeah,
We've
either yeah.
taken, yeah,
Let's go ahead and
taken,
we'll pop it up on the. Give me a second here,
right.
and you go do while you're doing the power
I got a
hour
video
here.
to share if you want to pull that up.
Oh,
This is a YouTube video of our good friend Cristobal on La Gorida de Morcar. He's doing an unboxing of TseuQuesT.
I can show this. This is okay to
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Oh,
Now, if you can you put on the subtitles and then the translated subtitles in English? I guess it doesn't matter so much. We're just gonna kind of we can skip around.
how do you do?
But
Because it just says Spanish auto generated.
yeah. So then you hit the button again, the little gear button again, and you hit Spanish again,
Oh, okay, I see.
and it auto translate. Yeah. And I appreciate that he did that, because
Hello,
I'm
how
sure
are
that's
you?
a setting.
Hello, wow.
Yep. Hola, ¿qué tal? Hola, ¿qué po? That's how he starts all his videos. Almost got it memorized. Yep. So yeah,
2 seconds here, real quick.
he's from Spain, and so not many people realize this. Maybe some of our audience does, but a few years back, so this was 2014. At that time, this company called Game Zone Miniatures actually did have the rights to HeroQuest, the board game, but only in Spain. So Hasbro Incorporated actually had to buy them out to get it. So it wasn't just working with Games Workshop to secure the rights there, they also had to secure them here. And I don't know if there's still a fight with Estrella in Brazil over their portion, if they ever had any. So that was interesting to me because I guess there's a lot of misinformation out there. There's people that think that, oh, HeroQuest 25th Anniversary Edition was completely illegal. Like this was just somebody taking advantage of the fact that there wasn't a HeroQuest on the market and they were going to try to pull a fast one and sell it. Now, to be fair, a lot of people were pissed at the fact that they waited from 2014 to 2024, 10 years for this thing to come out. I mean, there's people that pre-ordered it back then. But people are finally getting their games shipped, at least in Spain, we've seen pictures in the warehouse. They've shown the English version, the Italian version, German, French. Will they actually get it? There's some people that are still thinking that this is just a ploy by the publisher to pay his legal costs by shipping these things out that have been sitting in warehouses, rotting in warehouses all these years. But I think there's other folks out there that are hopeful that, hey, this is not the end, that TseuQuesT actually will come out for those who want it. And in the end, what do you get? You get a modern game that happens to share a lot in common with HeroQuest. It's a modern, well, for 2014, a modern board game that is inspired by paying tribute to HeroQuest. But you could so easily, assuming you can actually get a copy, take this, apply all your HeroQuest homebrew rules to it, and just play it. You wouldn't have to play their rules. You know what I mean? And vice versa. You could take, if you like their version of the rules, you could take that and play it using Avalon Hill's HeroQuest. So I think it's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, Cristobal is from Spain, so he's right in the heart of all the drama about this. I'm sure he's been wondering about this for years. A lot of people wrote it off. It's just like, oh, my money's gone. I'm never getting this. But here it is. And you can see some things, they definitely went the luxury route. Like, look at that. It's an actual bound quest book, like a spiral binder. I mean, I thought Avalon Hill was being extravagant with the hand-stitched quest books. It's like, why would you do that? Why not just use staples? I mean, yeah, in 30 years, those staples are going to get rusty, but it's like, okay.
Just restaple them.
Yeah, But yeah, you could print and play this. I mean, for a while, I was even thinking, well, if they never release this, I could just go to Game Zone Miniatures and just buy the miniatures, that look like Chaos Warriors and that look like barbarians and elves and stuff, and I could just reconstitute the game based on that. But then I was like, well, but that would cost like hundreds of dollars. And I guess their miniatures are some type of hard resin, like cast resin. So I'm like, would that be as durable? Maybe. And so far, people are saying, well, it's not going to be as durable as like Reaper miniatures or the HeroQuest remake, where it's the bendy plastic. I mean, most of the HeroQuest figures, you could bend that sword, all the way back, and you could bend it back into position, and it wouldn't be like weakened in any way. I mean, half the stuff comes bent anyway. You got to dip it in boiling water. This stuff, probably not so much. It's much more rigid and heavy. And I guess there's metal parts too, and you've got to assemble it. That's the other thing. People are saying about this version so far that it's definitely geared more towards advanced type players. This is not a kid's game because you've got to assemble the miniatures with glue. You don't have to paint them. They're already separated out by color, just like HeroQuest. You've got red for heroes, and undeads are kind of whitish, and you've got gray and green and so forth. But the furniture is all just like white, and so it's like really boring and dull looking. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to paint the furniture. So they're expecting you to do some more work than just take it out of the box and play it. I mean, to be fair, the original HeroQuest, you did have to cut the figures off of sprues, but it wasn't like Games Workshop where you had to assemble every little piece. It's like, just imagine like the barbarian is just one piece. You just cut him out and he's ready to play. There's no assembly. Now, you did have to assemble the furniture. So like the furniture would have like a piece that you would punch out of a cardboard sheet. You'd fold it, and then you'd insert it into the plastic that you cut out of the sprue. So there was a little bit of work. But here, the furniture looks to be like a solid piece, of molded resin, and then the figures are multi-part. So you got to pin the arms and the legs and the sword, and then they have like a clear, transparent round base that you put on. But I see they definitely made some stylistic changes. Some of it maybe to avoid, imitating the original too much. Because they were forced to change the name after Hasbro bought out their share and got their, you could say, their rightful IP back. Because the other one was Chaosium, had a game called HeroQuest, Glorantha, which was a totally unrelated RPG. So Hasbro had to buy out that part. Then they had to buy this company's stuff out. So they changed HeroQuest 25th Anniversary Edition to TseuQuesT or TseuQuesT. So there he's showing the GM screen. So it's kind of interesting. It's just folded paper. So some of the components, I mean, they look good, but you can also see that the material is maybe not as durable. But again, it looks like they're going for that adult collector type player as opposed to, you know, some 10-year-old kids who are going to maybe be a little rough with it. That little door, yeah, it's like you can see the dice when he rolls the dice. Okay, this is for mature audiences only, just kidding. I like this guy's streams. The trouble is though, because I have to read the subtitles, I can't just like have it on in the background while I'm doing something else. I got to actually sit and watch it. So that's why I haven't watched more of his videos. If I was better at Spanish, I probably would. But there, you see right away, I mean, there's cards, but you got to punch the cards out. And they've got the classic 4 heroes. So you got the dwarf, elf, barbarian, and the mage, wizard, obviously. But there's also like a female version of all of them already included in the box. It's not an expansion thing. They're all there. And one feature that I thought was cool was, I mentioned this before, there's like little dials that it's like a button that attaches to the back of the card. So you can rotate like a little wheel. And so it'll show like the point value changes. So when your guy takes damage, instead of, you know, having to have some separate tracker, you could just track it on the card.
So, quick
See, there's a
question.
little hole, punch out. Yeah, go ahead. I've been talking for a while.
So, is this still available to purchase, or was this only for people who bought it like forever ago?
They're fulfilling the backer orders now, but you can place an order. And so people are saying, well, you shouldn't do that because these guys are crooks. They're going to screw you over. They're not going to deliver. But then if they fulfill all the backers, they claim it's going to be a retail game. Like you're actually going to be able to buy it. Now, the only question is it going to be available outside of Europe? Because
this
thus
looks
far,
really cool. This looks like really cool.
It makes me think of like this is a passion project. This is like what a fan, like a hardcore fan of HeroQuest would have done. Like I'm gonna make my own version, and it's gonna have like everything's gonna be like deluxe, you know, build quality, and it's gonna have like, you know, house rules like built in, you know, little improvements like, you know, double-sided board and all this stuff like this. But keep in mind, this was in development long before Hasbro Avalon Hill HeroQuest that we all know. So everybody's going to compare the two. But to be fair, like this is what they were working on. And I have no doubt that Hasbro looked at what they did and said, okay, we can definitely do this, and we've got the infrastructure to do it better. You know, but certain things you might like here. You might like the fact that you've got an alternate, you know, maze design on the opposite side of the board. You might like that instead of the dice just being regular 6-sided cubes, they're actually like barrels, so that you can roll the barrel, and if it ends up on either the ends, you have a different result than just the regular 6. You might like the oddly shaped cards. I mean, I guess they're taller, so I don't know, they fit better in your hand maybe, with the
I think they
dials
look
on
good.
them. Yeah, you might like the transparent bases. I guess the quest books aren't finished. So even though he showed all that stuff, there's supposed to be like other quests that we haven't seen. So the part that I'm a little bit unclear about, and some of it's the language barrier, is there's like similar to how Avalon Hill HeroQuest had like the mythic tier and the heroic tier, so you got more content if you paid more. That was this way as well. So I think it was quoted to me that, well, if you got all the expansion options, it was like 300 euro. And if you just got the basic stuff, it was 110 euro, which is obviously a big difference. And I guess I think the retail version is 134 euro, which is like $142 USD. So, I mean, I know people. So, in theory, if the English version does come out, but it's only in Europe, I mean, I could get it shipped But and see there, look, they're using the alchemy symbols on the spell cards. See, I mean, I did a homebrew where I used that type of design, but I mean, I didn't even know about this at the time, so just happenstance. So Terra instead of Earth, but it's the same basic stuff, and you can tell they patterned it after classic HeroQuest. I mean, instead of chaos, it's primordial chaos. But I mean, so far, Cristobal seems appreciative of this stuff. I mean, he's done a lot of unboxings on his channel. I mean, fans send him stuff, and he looks at homebrew stuff all the time. But yeah, he's going through it. Yeah, you can tell that the stuff is clearly inspired by HeroQuest, but it's different enough that it's legal.
It doesn't break any bounds.
Right. And just like I almost got into an argument with someone. Well, I'm backing off of it now, but about the canon of HeroQuest. Like I've done this. You've heard me say this, that Disney Star Wars is not canon. Like that's just me being bitter at the fact that I feel like Disney has done the franchise wrong. But I mean,
Indeed.
When it comes to a board game like HeroQuest, this is not the same as like Warhammer. Like Warhammer, just like this could be your segue, Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon or these competitive Magic the Gathering, these competitive tournament type games that they have events at stores where they could just say no, those rules are no longer allowed. These cards are no longer allowed. Like they can ban certain things. They can affect the way you play the game. Like you could say, "Oh, screw you guys. I'm just going to play the way I want with my friends." Like, okay. But all the cool kids are playing it, the official way. Well, HeroQuest is not like that. They can't enforce that in any way. So whether you're playing like 1990 HeroQuest, you're playing, 2020 HeroQuest, you're playing TseuQuest, you just do whatever you want and you mix and match, and people on the internet can tell you're doing it wrong, and you just ignore them.
Hey,
So
Kurgan, real quick.
not that big a deal.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
Keep going real quick.
I was
I'm gonna step out for just a minute. Be right back.
Oh, sure, yeah. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Yeah, so I'll say it again. I fully understand the people who are pissed off at the designer or at Game Zone for having to wait 10 years for this thing to come out. And it does boggle the mind that they would have all these shipping addresses from 2014. I mean, some of those people have moved, some of them could have died. I mean, how are they going to possibly make it good? But I think, and there was this massive discussion on HeroQuest fans Discord, so I can't do justice to everyone. But I mean, I think that what I was hearing a lot was, hey, I'm glad to hear at the very least that the people that put money down are starting to get an actual product that they paid for. Like, is everyone going to get it? Probably not. But the more boxes and refunds they can ship out, the better. And then I think, I'm trying to think if it was Verg that said this. He was saying like in a just world, like they would go immediately bankrupt right after fulfilling all the orders. I don't know if I want that to happen, but I mean, if they can rebuild their reputation with fans after that, why not? As long as they don't pull the same stunt again, that would be ridiculous. So yeah, all credit to Cristobal on YouTube. His channel is called La Guardia di Morcar. I'll spell it for you. It's LA space GUARIDA space DE space MORCAR. And for those not in the know, Morcar was the original name of Zargon in HeroQuest, the evil GM character. I think he's called the Warlock in this version. So, but this is TseuQuesT, formerly HeroQuest 25th Anniversary Edition. I mean, I really think Hasbro did a great job through Avalon Hill with the remake of HeroQuest from 2021. But if this had been the game, I think it would have been less accessible just because, I mean, look at all that. They're expecting you to glue, to paint, to do all this this prep work that is fine for adult fans. And yeah, you've definitely got dads or moms, with their kids, doing a craft and a game together, that's fine. But having a game that like 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds could pick up and just learn to play, and that would be their introduction to fantasy tabletop gaming. That's going to happen much more often with like Hasbro's HeroQuest. Oh yeah, he's showing the durability. Oh, okay, so it looks pretty solid. Yeah, whereas this is much more like nostalgic fans who are already firmly in the tabletop gaming hobby. They're used to painting miniatures, they're used to assembling things. Those are the type of people that would go for something like this. So it'll probably have a smaller audience, even though you would assume it'll be small anyway, just because it's not Hasbro. It's not a multi-billion-dollar company. So, yeah, I mean, I'm glad I never spent any money on it, just because I would be pissed too. I think my money had been stolen. 10 years later, I was still waiting for something and didn't get a refund. But it looks like it's been done for a long time. So it's almost kind of a throwback in a sense. It's like it would have been a new game in 2014, and now in 2024, it's a retro game of the 2010s. So, but look at all those pieces. I mean, I thought RantQuest was a lot. So you've got 3D traps and rubble decorations and things. So, but that board, I mean, I think those are 1-inch squares, so it would be fully compatible with Remake HeroQuest. So yeah, I think it was Hispa Zargon who told me that in his view, it may not be official HeroQuest now, but it's touching on something connected with the original HeroQuest in a way, because it's a fan, the passion project. Technically, he had the rights in Spain up until a point. So it could have been official. Like if Hasbro hadn't done anything, if they hadn't made their move, this might be the version that we were all looking to as the modern HeroQuest. And maybe part of the reason for all these delays has to do with those legal wranglings. But anyway, yeah, if he cheated anybody, I hope that he pays them back. I hope they get their refund. Oh, there's a mirror. Interesting. But for everybody who backed it, I hope they get it. And if it's going to be a retail game, if it's a reasonable price, I mean, I've said it before. If it falls within my budget, and it looks like it didn't destroy the lore or the legacy of a franchise, and it gets good reviews with other fans, I'd be okay with supporting it. I would be okay with buying it. I'm not looking forward to necessarily assembling all that stuff, but honestly, a lot of these pieces, when I was looking at them in pieces, I thought these don't look that great. But once they're assembled, they look pretty decent. And yeah, if it just had a wash, like a gray wash, that's kind of boring. I mean, people are going to fully paint them, but at the very least, I would spray paint them. The division colors, so to speak. But it looks like here we're just looking at a lot of pictures of Game Zone miniatures. Of course, Cristobal is going piece by piece. So good on him for doing this. I mean, I was looking forward to this for a long time. Yeah, he's a character. Definitely check him out. That's La Guardia de Morcar, or La Guardia de Morcar. You can tell I'm not a native Spanish speaker, but yeah, check him out on YouTube. Tell him you saw him on the RantCast. Yeah, they got all those bags labeled. So yeah, Ribby showed me how to play RantQuest, and we actually finished the first quest Tuesday night. So it took us 2 sessions. I mean, to be fair, the first session, a lot of it was me asking questions. I mean, I read most of the book before playing, but still, it was like just a lot of things to remember, a lot of things to keep track of. But I agree with Ribby in the fact that if you're playing by yourself, as he's done, I mean, what a trooper, running games by himself. I mean, I remember how hard it was to keep everything straight playing Space Crusade against myself. Like I thought I could do as well as Always Bored, Never Boring. And you notice when Always Bored, Never Boring plays Space Crusade against himself, he's playing with like one squad versus some monsters, and usually the squad gets killed. Whereas I was trying to do all the squads, like a complete game, and I got so many things wrong. And afterwards, it's like, okay, I've learned more. But once you play with another human being, it's so much better because they can correct you on stuff. Like, wait a minute, did you just forget to do the? Oh yeah, I forgot to do the thing. But now if both of you forget, who cares? But as long as you're having fun, that's all that really matters. But yeah, RantQast does not have a GM. It's a cooperative dungeon crawl, and it's clearly loosely inspired by HeroQuest. And I do detect a lot of inspirations from other games. It reminds me in some ways of Dead of Winter, with like those the patrols, how they can just the threat level can increase and build up. And of course, it reminds me of HeroQuest, but it's different than Advanced HeroQuest in that you're not revealing rooms like the whole tile comes down. It's just you've got the tiles, you enter the room, and you've got that nice mechanic where you roll the dice into like a specialized tray, and wherever the dice land on those squares, then you put tiles on the squares on the board. It like corresponds to where they are, and then you flip them over, and then that tells you what enemies are in the room. And you think, well, why would that matter? But yeah, it's because in RantQuest, the forward arc is like the danger zone. So if you try to retreat from somebody that you're in their danger zone, they automatically attack you as you're fleeing, which is something you can do in HeroScape as well. So games feed off of each other, inspire each other. That guy looks cool.
What do I come back to?
Yeah. Well, I was talking about.
Look at those pieces. Ooh, those are sexy.
Yeah. Yeah. See, when they're fully assembled and when you throw a little bit of paint on them, they really come to life.
Oh, they don't look like that?
Yeah. In the box, they're just solid color. So all the furniture is just white, and then the figures are either gray, off-white, red, green.
Oh, they don't look like what he's showing them as.
Yeah. So the left picture where he's like taking them out of the bags, that's what they look like. And on the right
I mean,
is like
they
after.
still look pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's how game pieces should look. Those are excellently crafted.
Yeah, they look like they're made out of stone or something. Like they're stone statues, like sculptures. They don't look like plastic toys. So I was saying they're definitely going for maybe the older collector, craftsman type player vibe, as opposed to like 8 to 12-year-olds playing a board game.
Oh, what?
So
You
the
think they're gonna
appeal,
put them in their mouth or something?
pointy swords. Well, I mean, you sit down with your kids and you're like, okay, we got, these are the paints, and
Yeah.
let's go to town.
He put them
Now,
down and be like, all right, you're gonna move them 3 space. Okay, stop filling with the sword. Don't put them in your mouth. Quit. Okay, we're done.
no.
We're done.
Okay, you're going to bed. Yeah. First, we're gonna have you puke up that paint, and then we're gonna okay, all right, son, we chug the first bottle of paint together, take a shot of that, and then the second one goes on the miniature. Like, no,
we're done.
Daddy,
We're done.
We're done.
We're gonna huff the fumes together.
Whew. Are you an angel? Person. My name is Annie.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
Ribby says after we ditched Thala, she showed up at a local tavern after. Killed a youngling. Yeah, I saw that meme. Wow. So, Josh, I gotta say, Strange Bus has some great memes, but Malgamash on his Discord has some dank, dirty memes.
Yeah, he's got such a big following. Man, if I could get that many people on the bus, you realize what a party we'd have?
Oh yeah. So all you members of Amalgamash's archive, Ash Quest, you're not being disloyal to your best guy. You can still visit us. You can be members of both. It's possible.
If I could post filthier memes on Ash's Discord, I would fucking fill that shit up. Was he doesn't let you post filthy memes? Look, I have a limit. I have a limit, but you can
PG-13. Yeah.
You can get mildly filthy. I mean,
Yeah.
look, Polsky posts some filthy memes on.
We're not talking 4chan, 8chan levels of filth, but we're talking. You can get a little bit naughty with their stuff.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Well, he was only showing 1% of his power.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still editing part 2. Generally, I've kept the HeroQuest fan streams pretty friendly. I mean, there's occasionally an innuendo will slip out, but the RantCast, we hit hard.
Look, Kurgan, we can always hit harder.
Yeah.
I feel like you bring the dad in sometimes. You're like, man, I can get pretty raunchy, and then you bring out like you bring out like the Ouija board or something. And you're like, are you guys
Yeah.
ready to you guys ready to get naughty up in here?
Like, oh, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. That orc looks pretty cool. See there, if you just showed that to me, I would not necessarily know that this was HeroQuest. I'd just be like, oh, is that like one of
Look,
these
man,
Games Workshop things?
even if this was inspired by HeroQuest, it takes a lot of big inspiration. This is really good. This looks really good.
Yeah.
Looks
And
really
and
good.
I mean, and with it zoomed in like that, you can go, yeah, the guy did a pretty good job. Oh, well, he could have shaded this a little bit better. It's like, yeah, but imagine that on the board. That looks perfect for the board. Like, you're not even going to see that level of detail when you're just, looking at it for 3 feet away. It's
That
the 3
the
foot
game
rule.
pieces, man, unless like you're showcasing those like from this angle, they look really good. So
Yeah, but see, that's
how
what
many
it could
times am I
look
gonna
like.
say really good on the stream? They look really good.
Really good,
Really,
really good.
really good.
Super cut. We're gonna watch a super cut of you saying really good. But look, all that is just a one layer of primer, and look at all that detail. So sure, why not?
It's really good.
And it's really good. And so the barrel, he's showing the barrel dice. They're really really small. I guess I'm used to the really big dice. But
Look at
yeah,
him
it can
chucking them
land on it.
though.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I love how like the European rule books always say throw the dice, like you're throwing them, like this is the craps
He's
table,
like
you're chucking them.
mafia truckers. Just
Yeah,
forget about
throw 'em.
it.
You hit Luca Brasi in the face. Yeah, what
Yeah,
of it?
forget about it.
Get out of here.
Get him the fuck out of here.
Forget about it. Yeah. So if you're from there, well, you don't know where we live, and if you do, please, no Pinkertons. Okay. So yeah, I
Speaking of
mean,
Pinkerton,
oh, are we ready to transition to our next one? I mean, we could go on and on. He
um,
definitely gives the set
you
the
still got a
works.
couple
And
more
you
minutes.
wanna,
I'm gonna take my meds real quick. You can finish up. I'm just
all
doing my
right.
old man routine while I'm listening to you.
Ribby's like, this isn't even my final form.
Yo,
That's
dude,
right.
between you and Polsky, man, I gotta moderate the moderators up in here.
Yep. Who moderates the moderators?
Y'all
Exactly.
getting all sorts of filthy.
Yep. So again, not taking away any of the thunder from Cristobal here. Rate, comment, subscribe.
I mean,
Yeah, we can always
yeah, we
edit
can
some of
still
that
give
out if
him
need
a.
be.
It'll be okay. It's just mostly the fact that we want to give him that traffic. So
Yep, he deserves it. So let's put the link there in the chat. Yeah, and there's been other unboxings, but man, his was epic. And like I said, I was looking forward to it, and he definitely brought the goods, produced the receipts. So what do we got next?
oh, we on to it? Okay. Hold on. Give me one
Yeah.
second. Because I've got
Oh yeah, he's got to do his thing here. Yeah. So TseuQuesT, I guess my final thought on that is it looks good, and
that
if it
is the
comes out,
AI, Ribby. That's I think that what Google's using is the auto translate, and Google's
yeah,
auto translate is garbage. Like, I mean,
yeah,
it's
it's
not bad. It's just it needs some fine
sounds much
tuning.
better in the original Klingon. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I had my doubts about OrcQuest, and now I'm sold on OrcQuest. I had my doubts on TseuQuesT, and I'm becoming sold on it.
I like
And
it.
I
That
do
box
I
art
do a
looks
little.
dope as shit, and everything in that box. If I didn't know that TseuQuesT came with such like massive hardship, I'd probably save some ducats and pay like the. See, that to me is worth $150, but I bet it's more than that. So,
Yeah, well, there's probably import taxes and stuff.
well,
So
I'm not worried about that. I'm talking about just like regular MSRP. So, like, if they were charging like $150 for that, I'd pay fucking straight up, without a doubt.
Ruby
So,
says, I've seen videos of non-English speakers who are giving a speech, and they used AI to translate this whole speech to English in the guy's actual voice. How sick is that? Yeah.
yeah, it's great, but it's also scary as fuck.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like people are just gonna get harassed and blackmailed. Well, I guess they already are, and scammed. I remember back
As
in
it
the
gets
day when I
better.
was a kid, like whenever you're watching the news, it'd be like some foreign leader would be on, and he'd be like talking, and he'd be like, speaking in his native language, and all of a sudden, like, his voice gets quiet, and you hear, and I am, raising taxes, like, oh, what? The United States and I are raising taxes, and we're gonna tax the moon. Like, okay. It's like, okay, that's the interpreter talking. A lot of legal implications. Yeah. Well, just like any new technology, people are going to abuse it, and it's going to get regulated, and then will the regulation be good or bad, and we'll just see how it goes. But I know Hasbro has had Wizards of the Coast. Hasbro has had its run-ins with AI. There was that incident where some of the artwork was produced with AI in one of the D&D books. And at first they denied it. And then they said, well, no, we used AI and then we just tweaked it a little bit. And then I think they finally admitted, yeah, it was. And sorry. I don't know if they said we won't do it again, but and I remember Shadiversary, Shad Brooks, who does a popular swords channel, which I've watched quite a bit in the past. He got in trouble because he made a video saying, "Oh, well, no, it's great. AI is awesome. You're a good artist if you use AI and then just tweak it a little bit at the end." And people just were just slamming him, saying like, "That takes no talent. That's just random. That's." At a certain point, it's like, why don't you just learn to draw and all this stuff? And it's like, well, I mean, that's his opinion, but
Well, okay, so I feel like mock-ups with
okay.
AI is fine. Like if
Oh
like
yeah,
let's
yeah,
say you're drawing
that's
you're drawing
core.
something. Like I've always told people that with what is it? With like the Frank Sinatra stuff. Like I was telling you, somebody
Or singing other
plays, they
songs, yeah.
sing the song, they do the
Hmm.
backing track, and then they layer it with his voice. Now, as scary as that is, um, there's work put into it, and they do it for fun, right?
Yeah,
The if you're drawing something, and let's say you want to take your art and put it in space or something like that, using AI would be useful for that because you don't have to redraw a backdrop. Or if you want to mock up and add age, or like you take something that you're using. A lot of people are misinterpreting it because they're using AI to fully recreate a project, or they'll put 5% of work in and then they'll have the project finished with AI. And um, I like the fact that AI is accurate enough to show that there's work done, but not accurate enough to differentiate itself from a human being.
yeah. Like you can
Like it's
pretend you're a skilled artist, and really all you did was just keep hammering at different
it's missing
text prompts.
personality. It's missing personality if it's
Yeah,
like if it's like a written document, it misses personality, or it will say things that are out of context sometimes. If it's an artwork, it will have slight errors in the artwork where like it'll misinterpret a finger as a whole hand, or it will misinterpret something. Yeah, it's just things like that. I'm not gonna go into like huge detail. Like you're just saying like chatbots that hallucinate. No, I'm talking about like if people try really hard, like plagiarizers and people. Yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah. Yep.
so. Um,
Yeah, I've been a teacher, and it's like it was bad enough when someone could just copy and paste from Wikipedia, but now it's like, oh, they can just say, yeah,
Now how teachers are
here,
getting around that is they're running it through a program right now, and
see.
and that's how they can like kind of tell, as if they already have run it through an algorithm. The best thing you can do is kind of point out and see if you can notice like the inconsistencies. But once they start filtering that, then kind of fucked. So
I was thinking like movie reviews, like, a movie comes out and like every other review says, fitting into the saga,
yeah,
like, wait a
so
minute.
that's I think that AI is going to change our dialogue and how we verb things a lot more.
Media.
Yeah, because it uses a lot of like professional lingo, and I think if you're intentionally trying to use professional lingo to make yourself look good, you're gonna get like misinterpreted. Like, you're using AI to write your documents.
Yeah.
Or if you don't edit what you write in AI like enough, it'll just screw an entire like paragraph with that. And yeah.
I mean, it's an impressive trick, but at the same time, it's like, if people are gonna substitute that as just a shortcut to be lazy or to scam people, it's like, this is really bad, really ripe for abuse.
I mean,
but yeah, it has its uses, it has its place.
It's an unregulated tool that needs to be regulated. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Who would have thought? So that's AI for you.
All right. So before we do move on, we do have a Hasbro topic we need to talk about, though. And I'll kind of bring it up here.
Hey, this shows how out of touch I am. But who makes Yu-Gi-Oh?
Oh man, you're on that right now, aren't you?
Yeah. The Stinky Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, we already talked about that, but I'm just like,
Japanese people. Okay. I think I'm good with Ribby's chat right now. You're killing me over here. I'm not Konami.
Konami. I love Konami.
Do
Well,
you?
I liked Konami of the late
Konami's the
80s, early
worst.
90s. I don't know what they're like. I don't recognize them anymore. They had some really great arcade games back in the day. That was what I associated them with.
You don't put love and Konami together at all.
So you just say, I love Konami.
No. Konami, the only thing that comes before Konami is fuck.
Man, that's sad. It's sad when a brand that you used to trust can't be. It's become a byword.
Okay, what massive properties did Konami used to own? Can anybody in chat or Kurgan, can you tell me? Because Konami is not only known for their Pinko machines, but they're also known for their toys, card games, and video games. And can anybody tell me what games they're known for? There's one, two, three, four. There's four main. No, there's four main video games they're known for. Contra's one of them, Ribby. Good job. Life Force. No.
Castlevania.
No, look, don't look it up, Kurgan.
I knew that, though.
Oh. Okay, current, though. Current.
What have they done for us lately?
Like, the four main major properties. Like, so, right now, the global franchises they are known for: Metal Gear, Silent Hill, Castlevania, and Contra. Can you tell me two companies they have shot in the back of the head, or two of those franchises they've shot in the back of the head just because? You literally just put that in chat. Silent Hill and Metal Gear. Yep. So they got rid of Kojima 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago, over a mild dispute, and made Metal Gear Survive, which was probably the worst decision you could ever make. Therefore, killing the Metal Gear series. They didn't sell Metal Gear to Kojima at all, which is what gave us the Norman Reedus and the Funky Fetus game. And then did the same thing with Silent Hill. After like throwing really crappy Silent Hill game after Silent Hill game after Silent Hill game. And now they're just now starting to make Silent Hill again. And they're just remaking Silent Hill 2. Which God knows how that's going to turn out. As for Castlevania and Contra, they did a Contra game, a year or two back, and it was really, really bad. Got really, really bad reviews. And it had performance issues, and I think microtransactions, all sorts of crap. But
that sucks.
Yeah, Metal Gear, technically, the last Metal Gear Solid 5, was incomplete on release. Kojima had to, like, duct tape it at the end.
Konami, you betray me!
So, but it was still a really good game. And Silent Hill was known for its last big game, was called PT, which people loved the demo to that game on PS4 so much that when Konami canceled the game, threw out all the major properties because they wanted to stop doing video games and move towards gambling. That people were selling PS4s with PT on it for like $1,000 at one point in time.
Dang.
Yeah, because
this company sucked.
Yeah, they took PT off the market.
Okay, I see what you're talking about now. I can't believe I just didn't even know this happened. I had all these nostalgic feelings. Like, I see the name Konami and I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and by the way, they are the first major corporation that started this whole trend where they were revealed for major physical, mental, and possible sexual abuse in the workforce.
Sheesh.
In like massive amounts. As of like 5 years ago. So bad that to this day, I think most of the people that have whistleblown are still to be declared anonymous because they don't want to be retaliated against physically.
Thanks.
Is there an official mini for Grognak yet?
Well, not official, but I mean semi-official.
We may have to change the spelling on Grognak.
What?
Because it copies the Fallout's Grognak.
Dang it.
Ever since the movie or the TV series,
they're on to us.
It's not. But just add another G. Or put a C before the K.
Yeah.
We'll be
put a line through the O. So there is a Reaper Bones miniature that I got that I use as Grognak, and I'm trying to get the name so I can share it.
But to anybody who doesn't know, and Kurgan brought this up to me, Fallout has in the video game they had a hidden comic book in the lore called Grognak the Barbarian. And I totally forgot about it.
The wrestler.
And yeah, for like the longest time, it bypassed my head because it was like 10 years ago. And they brought it back as like a Easter egg in the TV series. So now I'm like thinking we should probably, in case this becomes a big thing, should probably change the spelling.
Okay. Well, I was going to say the Grognak artwork is AI generated, but to be fair, Bohemius worked on it. I'm sure he had to spend a lot of time with those prompts to get the art what he wanted. And Jacer and he worked on the rules, and also, they put it out there for playtesting with the public in the HeroQuest fans Discord. So that's what we did. But yeah, we can always tweak him. We can always change him. I mean, it's not to be sold. It's officially unofficial. So I'm going to post a link. Yeah, but don't quote me on that, allegedly. I'm just going to put a little link there in the chat. So Reaper Miniatures, it's called Crosswire Supervillain, sculpted by Bobby Jackson, by the way. It's a plastic miniature, and it's pretty close to how I imagine Grognak looking. Like, he's got a mask, he's got a bulky physique, he's got his hands out like he's ready to like grapple with somebody. The only thing that betrays his sci-fi-ness is he's got these like bolts sticking out of his back. But you could imagine that's ring gear, that he wear, or entrance gear. Wrestlers, they wear their, funny outfits and then they take it off before they go into the actual, match. So I can imagine that.
Do you have a full picture?
Yeah, I can share it. So I've just spray painted him green. Yeah, I'll throw it into your Discord and then you can share it if you'd like.
Yeah.
Oh, we like. There we go. And it's cool too because the base is almost perfectly the right size to match the HeroQuest remake figures. It's really close. I think it's just like a millimeter wider. So pretty darn close. Grognak, the legend.
So is this our official Grognak, the legend piece?
Yeah. I guess they call it Bones Black. I guess the plastic is a little bit stiffer than, because like the older Bones figures, they're white and they're like really bendy, and then they had Bones Black, so they were gray, and the plastic was a little stiffer, but still pretty durable. We got in this long discussion about durability of miniatures when we're talking about TseuQuesT, about how like when I hear resin, I'm so used to like minis 3D, like these 3D printed miniatures that are just they're like glass. They're very fragile. So if you drop it from waist height onto an linoleum floor, they're gonna break. But then they have this like slightly bendier resin. It's a mixture. Of course, when you buy stuff on like Etsy or something, you don't know what formulas the guy's using. I mean, he might lie to you as far as what it's made up of. But I mean, RantQast has molded plastic and it's kind of bendy. I think having a little bit of give, a little bit of flex to your miniatures is a good thing, because even if you're the most careful person in the world, you're going to have a mishap now and then. And do you really want to glue that sword back on? But to be fair with TseuQuesT, at least they come multi-part. So, the arm broke off. Well, that's the weak point. You just glue it back on. What it's meant to be. So Konami, kind of stinky. What's this about Japanese Pinkertons? Are we ready to?
Yeah, sorry. You were talking about Grognak, and now I got into it. You said you wanted something like drawn, or you had something drawn. See, because I like hot plate to mess around with like concept art to use for like a basis to draw with. I've already begun, and like you guys have already done a great job. So this is just because of how quickly you can do stuff in hot plate, but there was my Grognak from like forever ago.
Nice. That looks like it was taken straight from RantQast.
But this Grognak.
Yeah. See, that's when he started out in the 80s. That other one is like after he and Hulk Hogan had their falling out. Yeah. Back then he was running with Ric Flair.
And then there's this Grognak, but there's an error with this one.
Yep. See if you viewers at home can guess what it is.
Can you spot it? Can you spot why you don't do full body projects? Yes. His fingers are broken. The AI says, I don't know how to put objects in his hand.
Oh yeah, it's like the weird.
I just jammed the spear into his hand. Does that work?
Yeah. Well, I mean, who knows? Maybe he likes to do that. No, he doesn't.
Maybe. All right.
The hand. See, Ruby got it. Ruby's on your wavelength.
Oh. Anyway.
Yeah. The RantQuest game has a really bulky, like, orc barbarian called Oris, which kind of makes me think of Grognak. Of course, he's got a huge sword. Grognak's a wrestler.
Of course, he's got a huge what?
A huge? How huge was it?
Okay. Because we're getting sidetracked.
Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Before we move on to the other topics,
Grognak's only weapons are his two guns right here. Yeah.
Did we talk about Hasbro entering the outsourcing of their toys?
Yes, we can. So we know already what happened with HeroScape. We remember that the HasLab campaign failed. Everybody was pissed. And then after some time, they announced that Renegade Studios was picking it up. So they had outsourced a board game. And people rejoiced because they're like, great, these people know what they're doing. They've got their own funds. It's going to be great. They just license it out. Nothing goes to waste, right? Well, seems like they're doing it on a larger scale. And as a sign of things to come,
but don't worry.
We've got this story.
Don't worry. We're signing up with Playmates Toys, a global toy design, development, and marketing and distribution company. We're going to start with, I believe they're starting with Power Rangers.
Yep, go Power Rangers.
So Hasbro retain all entertainment rights and continue to drive their global strategy for growth for the Power Rangers franchise, while allowing Playmates to, I believe, create the toys. Quoting the article from Hasbro, Casey Collins, president of licensed consumer rights or consumer products at Hasbro, states Playmate's ability to interpret character-based storytelling and highly detailed, innovative, and affordable products has revitalized several iconic brands, and they are a perfect fit to fully expand the Power Rangers franchise. While we'll continue to provide oversight and direction on future Power Rangers product ranges, Playmates will leverage its action figure and accessory design, development, and marketing expertise to create an entirely new play and collecting experience for fans of all ages. With two powerhouse companies coming together to support a powerhouse brand, the potential is limitless and cheap. He didn't say cheap. I did.
You're Hasbro. You're like the toy company, and you need help doing something like that. Okay.
Oh, but he said it so well though, because he's complimenting the shit out of this company. And okay, if we're outsourcing, because if we look at what is Playmates toy brand, where do they function out of? Can we look that up? Let's see.
Yeah.
Playmates.
Careful
if we're saying if you're saying they're outsourcing, then we need to know where they're coming from. Oh God, this website. They make the Ladybug toys? Oh God.
Hong Kong. Now, Hong Kong, if I remember correctly, is now part of China.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh man, yeah, okay. So my here, I'm gonna put this up. So my kids got a couple of these toys and now I know why they look so bad. So My kids used to like this show. They don't even resemble anywhere. Oh, they kind of resemble the show, but there's a lot of inconsistencies.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is. So you the expert. Now
Well, okay,
Godzilla, that's not Godzilla.
no, but like there's like something going on. It's an evolution thing. But look at the Teenage
Is
Mutant
he?
Ninja Turtles they got going on.
What is that Godzilla having a baby?
No, it's a
Are we
Titan
teaching?
evolution.
Oh, okay. We're teaching kids when
No,
a Godzilla and another
the
Godzilla love each other very much.
the Teenage
And
Mutant Ninja Turtles toys look okay.
yeah, the nerdy turtles, the new
They
one,
look okay.
classic turtles. They look a little kidified, but not so bad. I mean, the cartoon had a very distinctive look from the 80s, and
I
the
mean,
action figures did not match it. The action figures are more like the comic book.
they
They're
look
more
okay.
hard-edged and
This is the
like
classic
Batman.
ones. So
Okay, maybe the third movie they looked like that. Yeah, okay, yeah, that was like the second or third generation of the uh the old action figures. Yeah, with the
they've got
Batman eyes.
basic and they've got deluxe. Here's your deluxe figures.
Oh yeah, the totally freaked out ones. See, I've seen those on store shelves. So to me, the ones with the backpacks that you could put the weapons in, those were the best ones because they didn't change anything else except, oh, you're not going to lose the accessories so easily. I do have some modern ones that look more like this. They're knockoffs, but yeah. And there was a guy, one of the first like homebrew toys that I ever bought was this guy had made weapons for the action figures that were made out of metal and like sharp and like wood and wood pieces and like tape wrapped around them. So that was fun. But so Playmates is responsible for all this.
Yeah. So I
Brushable
think,
hair. That's what you need.
well, okay. So I think my kids have these. Yeah, my kid has this doll,
Cat
and
and
it
wall.
looks nothing like this. Well,
So
it
this is like the
does.
cheaper version of it.
No, you can get them at Target, and that's how I know. It's because like um,
So the pictures are
if
misleading.
well,
I
look at
guess
the
I'm not quite
picture. Look at
understanding.
the picture of the lady, right?
Oh, yeah,
Okay, you
yeah.
see how
Okay.
she's fully like she's supposed to be in a
Incredible
like a skin tight costume. Now, granted, I'm not saying that she's supposed to be in skin tights. I'm saying they use cloth, like undressable cloth, for the costume, and she has
no
bare
gloves.
hands, and then she has boots,
Yeah.
like plastic boots.
Yeah.
This is all
It
one
doesn't
piece
match.
from her hands to feet. So, um, and that's what bothers me is because kids can just rip that stuff off.
Yeah.
So that
It's
could have just been
fun.
all
It's
one plastic piece.
I remember being a kid and I remember like, oh, you can take the cape off. So of course you take it off and
Also,
you either lose it or you rip it and then yeah, it never goes back on. So when you find the toy, you buy it in the second hand, it's always without the cape.
the hair is real, which is a good. The hair is like it's supposed to look more
Doll hair.
realistic. It's not like plastic. Yeah, it's doll hair. Um, that's a cool feature, but it gets really gross really fast.
Yeah, you got to get the shampoo out. Oh, you
But
meaning like
yeah,
it's poorly made, like it gets like
no,
gummy
it
or
just
something?
gets no, it gets tangled because they're kids. Kids play with it, right? So like
Sure.
it never stays like this. It's good. They get bedhead like really really fast, and you can't
Got to
fix it.
get them the buzz cut. Well, there's some pretty talented people online that have shown like how they've restored doll hair. Don't ask me how they do it, but it is
That's
possible.
impressive because I wouldn't be able to. Yeah, like my kids have these two dolls, and they like I said they don't resemble the people
Toy
on the show.
Polloi is on YouTube. Toy Polloi is a guy who does a lot of like um, restoration of like boys' toys from the 80s and 70s, like action figures. But there's also like similar channels for like girls' toys. So I'll see if I can find.
So I'm just gonna be honest here. They're not super bad. I wouldn't say they're super bad. There have been worse like outsourced places, but um to be honest, they are a big company. They've got a big the website just looks a little weird, but they're in Bermuda, so it's not
Oh
like they're
wow.
just outsourcing to like some wacky weird Chinese company. Not that like I hate that sort of thing. It's just a lot of people will just go immediately to the cheapest company. Um,
Yeah.
and the reason I say Chinese is because a lot of the times, a lot of Chinese companies have lower regulations or they have a bigger workforce. They just go boom. Um,
Yeah.
but this one has like its own slogan. I mean, so here
The high cost of
I start off
importing.
hating Hasbro off the bat because Hasbro's done some really wacky shit. But
Yeah.
like I said, I'll be honest here when I've been like proven wrong. Uh, this isn't the worst toy company to outsource to. Um, Granted,
Okay.
like I said, they're not completely accurate, but neither are all children's toys. It's not like we're trying to sell like collector's minifigures or anything. And they have one, two, three, four. They have six major toy brands, so it's not like they're super huge. But yeah, 50 plus years ago. So hey kids, this is advertising. Now this is
I mean,
advertising.
now this is pod racing. Yeah,
So
I mean, it's saying something.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for a company though that has 1,800 brands on its belt, um, still has control of Magic, Dungeons and Dragons, Nerf, Transformers, Play-Doh, Peppa Pig. Um, the fact they're moving the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers over to Playmates. I'm gonna be honest with you here, Kurgan. I was thinking this was kind of a weird thing, but it could be that Power Rangers isn't making a lot of money for them, and they're moving it over to a smaller company that is still making uh, good design choices in toys. So this is my only time I'm actually going to defend Hasbro in this point because
And we're canceled. No.
yep.
Just
Well,
kidding. No,
because
hey,
like when was the last time Power Rangers actually hit market was like boom successful? They did a reboot and it like failed
the
miserably.
movie, yeah, it was kind of a
So
flop.
um
I mean, you still got your hardcore fans, and toys do come out. But yeah, there was a few board games.
the last Power
It's
Rangers thing I
not like a
saw
major brand.
was today, and it was the
Was
LA
they?
Beast, and he was eating Power Rangers food from the 90s.
Dang.
Like the mac and cheese dinner they had that released in like 94.
All right. Well, we just hope that he and his family are okay after
Botulism.
that. Yeah. The things people do for views.
No,
Don't
dude.
do it.
God bless that dude. That guy is awesome. He's super nice, and he was a previous competitive food eater. So I'm pretty sure he like even
Iron
though
stomach.
it's not recommended. I'm pretty sure he did whatever he could to maintain a safe environment.
He's on the toilet right now.
Yeah. Um,
Sorry. No, I shouldn't. I hope he's okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
he did more than that. He ate the mac and cheese. He did the fruit snacks. There was fruit snacks from '94 that he tried. Jello and then gum.
Oh. I
He said,
mean, I thought I was being crazy when I ate yogurt that was a month out of date. But
"Oh, dude, this guy had drank an entire bottle of Orbits from '97 as well. Like this guy tries like all
oh,
sorts of old shit, 50-year-old chili, all sorts of
I
weird
mean,
stuff."
he's fine now, but that one time, and it's gonna be like, rest in peace, this guy.
Like I said, he usually goes to the doctor and stuff, keeps himself pretty good. Um, this
He's got
guy,
the
if you, and in fact,
he's got the
his first thing
spit
is up
bucket.
here. Here we are shouting out YouTuber today. He's one of my favorites. He's really good. But Kevin Straley is his name, and he's a great dude. But this is his YouTube channel because he doesn't state himself as the LA Beast, but he's done stuff forever. And yeah, his Instagram. He tried 29-year-old Mighty Morphin Power Rangers snacks the other day in the name of human science. And
It's never going to be as good.
His slogan is "Have a good day." It's nothing like crazy or anything. It's just "Have a good day."
I mean, but how do we know this guy isn't just a hoaxer? What if he put like modern mac and cheese just in the box
No,
for the
he
video?
has the eBay page that he bought. That was $75.
Dang.
And those are like legit boxes and stuff. Like
I know
he
people sell
shows
boxes, but
himself
like
cooking
the
it.
rotten stuff inside.
Like
I mean,
I don't want to show too many YouTube videos today, but like
at him puking. I mean, some of
well,
that stuff you could say, well, it's so artificial that I mean, maybe it'll last that long.
I'm gonna let you decide. You go to his channel because he has him opening the box. He pulls out the cheese packet and then he shows a modern like box of mac and cheese. It's all fluffy and the cheese packet is like hard as a rock.
Oh man!
And he opens up the cheese packet, which hasn't been opened, and it's like chunks
people
of
open up like World War II like MREs.
Yeah,
Like,
he's done that too. He's done a couple of those too.
Yeah.
Like that 80-year-old, I think it was like MRE that had like spaghetti or something.
Yeah. Yep. And then pretty soon you're snorting lines of mac and cheese dust off the table and living your best life.
That's right.
All for the views.
This dude also does like soda chugging with a leaf blower. It's intense.
What?
Yeah.
I don't want to know anymore. This is scaring me a lot.
Like you said, man, he's a cool guy though. It's crazy. I don't ever follow anybody else that does competitive eating. This guy is something else. So I would shout him out any day. He's wholehearted. He's a nice dude. He's got like,
impressive.
Yeah, like, and he doesn't post weird shit all the time. He's not like daily or anything like that. He's like every once in a while he'll hop back onto YouTube. He'll do other things that aren't just eating. Like he'll like run. He'll do like a run, or like he'll do stuff like about baseball cards, or like he'll talk about like just do random like morning streams where he'll talk about like classic stuff like classic toys or games, you know. But yeah, like back in his heyday when he was like a little younger, and when I was in my 20s and I first discovered him, yeah, that's all he did was eating challenges, and they were like crazy. Like he ate a 5-pound bag of like the Haribo sugar-free gummy bears, and that was back when those were the recalled ones, the ones that give you like severe diarrhea.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Cholesterol.
He like, timed himself. And, like in 45 minutes, he like had to run to the bathroom.
Oh man. Stay away from sugar alcohols, kids. Not good. Like there's a reason why they have fewer calories.
Oh man. Empty
like
the fuck out.
Lead. Like lead through I don't know.
All right, so I guess we're gonna go to the real reason you guys are at the stream. Something smelling here? Oh no, it's from that Yu-Gi-Oh tournament in Japan.
Man. Like, you just can't. Man, it's like there's like a joke story, and then there's the real story, and you can't even tell anymore. Like, is this satirical? Is this am I being punked here?
Okay, so let me go ahead and I'll read the article from Niche Gamer around April 9th. I don't have the link for it, but you can go ahead and look up Stinky Yu-Gi-Oh or something. Or I can post the link later if somebody really wants to read the link or the article. So we had a female Yu-Gi-Oh player in Japan who allegedly left the tournament earlier because how bad the venue and the players smelled. In a tweet, a male Yu-Gi-Oh player shared the concerns. after a female player left the tournament. He was concerned that she had been bullied out by the cutthroat players who tend to show up at the types of events. However, it turns out it turns out that she had decided to set the record straight since the people were concerned over how she was treated when in truth, she just couldn't take the smell any longer.
Man, so this could be like a strategy. Like you go in there, don't shower for a week. You know, eat a lot of like beans and stuff before you go in. It's like, oh,
so
you seem to be winning. Well, guess what?
yeah,
I mean,
so
that's so disgusting. I mean, listen, I don't like to bully people or reinforce stereotypes, but I have been to some game stores where there were definitely some people that didn't have personal hygiene,
mhm.
were very smelly, and it's like, why does it have to be like that? It's like, oh, it just gives gamers a bad name.
So
So I'm
I'll
not
get to
saying
it
you have to
here.
smell like roses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, come on, just my gut
She
reaction.
stated, and I quote in the tweet, translated from Japanese. I saw this because it was circulating, but considering the circumstances, it might be me. I left halfway through because I couldn't stand the smell. It's not like I lost or was sad. So personal hygiene has been a big issue with conventions, especially card games, video games. Smash Bros. Tournaments has been a big thing. Yu-Gi-Oh! Those are kind of like mild examples of places that have had issues with hygiene, so much so that they've been tweeting to people, "Hey, um, next time you come, come." They've tried to help them in certain cases,
Yeah.
like to the point to where
Sometimes the people that
the next
don't get it.
level would be either handing you a stick of deodorant at the door, or telling
Yeah.
you there's some shower stands, go before you go in. I don't personally think that we need to be doing that. I think that I think another big thing is, I know these places generate revenue to the point to where like it's really good revenue, but they've cracked down, but not hard enough to the point to where like they lose people. I think if you notice people at the door that aren't, well, first of all, they aren't hygienic. They come in and you can smell it, because if it's starting to produce an odor that's that bad, they need to be stopped at the door. Like, look, you know, and I think it's because maybe they don't want to state it, or it's rude, but it's really becoming a thing where like it deters like new people or
Yeah.
diverse players or people who are casual or something like that. And everybody should really have a chance to go to those events, especially if like you like Yu-Gi-Oh or something. Like I'm not a huge person. I haven't liked Yu-Gi-Oh since I was a kid. So, but that doesn't
I
mean I don't
never
like
got into it.
Pokemon. Or I'm not interested in Pokemon now. Like
My
I'll
time.
still pick up my Game Boy and play that. So, but if you like it enough to go to a tournament and want to be a little bit competitive, or you want to go and buy merchandise, you should be able to go there without wanting to throw up. And you not
Yeah.
having a shower for longer than a month, because I feel like having that much body odor. I mean, it's probably not just one guy, right? It's probably a group or something that's causing that much of
Yeah.
this. But like, I feel like you're not showering either at all, or you're
Yeah. I mean,
going
are
a
you
very, very
homeless?
long time. No, they're not home. I'm pretty sure this is just laziness, or a
I mean, it's one
majority.
thing if you're
If you can
it's one
afford to
thing
go
if
into a
you're
tournament, you can afford to take a shower.
yeah, that's true. It's one thing if you're just a few guys down on the farm. You've been slopping the pigs, you've been feeding the horses, you've been shoveling hay, and you're like, let's play some Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah.
Then you go
Like,
home, you go inside, you take a shower, and you go to your tournament.
make sure get
Like,
cleaned up. Now let's yeah. But I
this
mean,
is
it's
some
like
asshole
if
that rolled out of bed and goes, "I'm gonna go to my tournament." And he puts the same shirt he put on yesterday,
my
and the
lucky
same pair
shirt,
of underwear he put on yesterday,
lucky underwear,
and the pants that probably have pizza stains on it or something.
lucky pants. Can't
Yeah,
forget
and
those. Got the
like,
whole lucky suit of armor to put on.
and is like,
the luck washes off, so you can't
yeah,
wash it.
yeah, rolling into his tournament, and his hair's greasy, and he has no
Yeah.
deodorant on, and his
But see,
just rolling in his stink, dude. It's
if everybody stinks, then nobody cares. But if one guy stinks, it really stands out.
no, I'm gonna
Listen,
say
I'll
it, man.
share.
If everybody if that whole
Yeah,
place stinks, then I care a
I'm
lot.
not coming. I'm
Yeah,
not
I'm not
coming.
go. That is a hazard. That is a health risk, especially nowadays. I don't blame the lady because that's fucking gross. Like when I was younger, yeah, I would just say, man, that fucking stinks in there. I'm not. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna move 5 steps back.
Yeah,
Nowadays,
something's wrong.
man, I'm a dad. I'm getting older, bro. I'm not getting any younger. I don't want to catch your fucking plague, okay? like, I don't know what you're carrying. If you're,
Yeah,
how
you
long
got a
have you
problem.
been? How long have you been
Yeah,
holding those germs or that disease? Like,
yeah, yeah,
it's washing has been a basic part of human life for a long time now. Yes,
yeah,
I am a busy human being. I am not, I'm guilty of missing maybe a day or two, once or twice in my life, of missing a shower. But I don't go
yeah.
long enough to where I produce a rancidness. You know,
That when you like leave the room, it's like still there.
it's one of those days where like I've worked, I've gone out, I've traveled 3 hours, I come home, I have the baby at night, and I'm like, I'll take a shower in the morning.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
enough energy in my time to brush my teeth and go to
But
bed.
you know you're gonna go out in public and you're gonna be in close quarters with other people
Oh yeah,
for long periods of time.
if I have to
It's
go
like,
out again tomorrow, or if I'm at the hotel, yeah, I'm taking a shower and I'm going back. I'm going to bed. I
yeah,
that fits in my time slot. These people, most of these people, I'm gonna say most of these people because I'm not putting anybody in a group, because I not only have hung out in this group before when I was younger, but I feel like, you know who I'm talking about. Uh, some of these people don't have their own house, or they have all the time in the world. They
no,
have more
there's
time than I could even think of, and I would wish I could have, to get up off of your ass and go take a shower. So I feel like if you walk through the door and you smell like fresh asshole, you need to be told to get the fuck out. And like a ban, like a permanent ban needs to be in place. If they need to remind you more than once, like wash
yeah,
your ass. Like
yep,
if the guy at the door smells you and goes, nope, like, sorry, sir, you're gonna have to leave.
yeah,
And you cause a fuss, that's a permanent ban,
yep,
because that's a technical foul. So,
yeah. It's a contact of an insulting nature. Yeah.
so
Go down to the YMCA, get yourself some soap, get clean, have a good meal, do
yep.
whatever you feel. But if you're gonna come back,
There's a
it's
Target
gotta be.
across the street. Grab yourself some deodorant and some body spray,
Yep.
and then find a sink or a bathroom and at least wash your hair off. Do something. Fuck.
Something.
We live in a world where it is
Yeah.
accessible to at least rinse your face
Mhm.
and
Get the
keep the
first
parts
layer
that
off.
really sweat at least hidden, to the point to
Yeah.
where you are not vibrating your disease.
I
So
like how it's a technical foul. I mean, it really is. It really is.
it is. So no offense to anybody who works really hard and produces an odor, because if that's the case, I no,
You already know.
you, then that's you. I have no more power to you, because I have respect for you. You have a job. You work hard. You do whatever you need to do. There's sometimes I work hard and I produce an odor. There's a shower coming your way. I almost
Yep.
guarantee you that you have a shower coming your way. For somebody who
Yep.
sits on their ass all day and probably plays Yu-Gi-Oh and tells their mom, "Where's my grilled cheese?" Take a fucking shower.
Yep.
So, you know, that's
And hey,
that's
maybe
not out
your
of
deodorant is
disrespect.
starting to wear off. Maybe it's time for another layer.
Then put deodorant in your back pocket. I mean, I
Yep.
don't know. That's all I'm saying. So it's not a disrespect or anything. Even if you're the best person in the world and you're just in a bad spot, living at your mom's, whatever, or you're in a bad spot and you're having a hard time getting stuff that you need.
Dollar store sells it too.
Yep. Or just don't go to the fucking deal or tournament then. I mean,
Yeah.
there is no excuse not to wash yourself unless you're homeless.
See,
And at that point you're not at the tournament. So
this is a
here's my
golden
thing.
opportunity. Yu-Gi-Oh brand deodorant. Think about it.
Yeah, but then they have to put deodorant in people's hands, and those people have to buy it.
That's true.
And there has to be a collector's value to it and everything. So,
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
I can't open this. It's too valuable. It's like, no, you're supposed to use it. Never mind. Go ahead.
but yeah, so
You had
um,
the better joke.
it's just one of those things where we're now violating new players because not only are those places they mentioned now those players can not only can those players be toxic, especially at Smash Bros tournaments. I have my love for that game died when I was like coming out of high school because I ran into people who just thought they like fucking they treat that game like they treat their dick. Like it's so big and nobody else once you're around me there ain't nobody better than me, and my god, I'm gonna be drowning and drowning in women and money because of this game. And guess what? It didn't happen. So
Whatever happened to fun? I mean,
yeah, like
people get
dude,
be competitive, but
I
yeah,
played
just
I played Smash like I played any other game. I played it like I was playing just for fun. And then the day I got called a filthy casual, the day I dropped the controller and walked the fuck out because I was like, what? Like, okay, bro, that's fine. You know, no, I am proud because you know what? I will play competitively in a fight in any other fighting game, but and like I said, it's probably offensive that I talk crap about Smash all the time. I enjoy that game, and I've done a lot of the tricks that a lot of the pro people have done before with like when I played Brawl and all that stuff like that. But there are really nice people who play Smash and will help you, and then there's the dudes that like really just they
want to
treat it
grind you into the
like
dirt.
yeah they treat it like they're at like a cage match, like they're fighting you in an underground cage,
They got to
and
use
like
every
like every
psychological
match
tactic.
you're in is like life or death, and they're trying to win the grand prize. And I don't ever understand it. I never fucking understand it. I don't know if it's because it's the only thing they can hold on to. I don't know if it's because they're really
Times.
proud of the fact that they can play Smash. I don't know. So, did your mom not hug you enough? I don't know. So,
I mean, be one thing if all the people in the tournament are that way, but if
a a good
but of
chunk.
course that's gonna exclude anybody that just like, oh, I've got some skills and I want to have a good time. Like,
So
nope.
when they say cutthroat players, especially at Yu-Gi-Oh, that's a lot of people. These people, once you've done like, and this could be anything. It's not just Smash. Like, I'm not just isolating people because, like I said, there are nice people who play Smash Bros. I met a couple people, especially during, because I was in the Brawl days. So like, there have been nice people who have done that. I've had friends who've been
I've only other
Smash
played the
players.
N64 game. Yeah.
Man, but when it comes to like tournaments or people who are diehard at the game, and this could be any game, like you find a guy who's probably been playing the original Counter Strike for like years, he's probably not going to be very nice. So, you know, you're sitting there ruining his day off. But it's it's just one of those things. You want to get into something and somebody else already kind of owns it. You should have played Melee then. You didn't get a chance to play Super Smash Melee on the GameCube.
I didn't have GameCube. I didn't
God,
know anybody that had it. Well,
Kurgan, I see. I
a
understand
couple.
missing out on the
Okay.
Wii or like missing out on like
Oh,
the
see, I
newer
played the Wii a
Smashes,
lot more
but
than the GameCube.
damn, dude.
The game The GameCube. So I played a soccer game at a friend of a friend's house, and another friend of mine let me borrow his GameCube to play this Rebel Strike for a couple days. But other than that,
love that
yeah,
game.
I really didn't. Oh no! I take it back. There was one game that I did play a bit. A family member had a GameCube for a while, and then he swapped it out for a Wii. But he had Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters Melee. That was a fun game.
Oh, I bet you were happy as a clam. That was a fun game to play.
Yeah. Yep.
I was literally like AVGN when I put that game in.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh.
He's totally right. All those lackluster Godzilla games, and then that
we
series
finally get Destroy All Monsters. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's like being
awesome.
That's like being a Star Wars fan back in the like you're finally getting the game that you want. Oh, speaking of Star Wars. Oh, okay.
Oh.
My next
transition.
one. So for everybody who might be looking forward to Star Wars, which I know everybody here is, you all love Star Wars. Don't you just love Star Wars? I love Star Wars. Don't you?
I love Star Wars.
Star Wars. Oh. About 2 weeks ago, Star Wars Outlaws released its official story trailer. So let's check it out. Because I haven't actually looked at it. So let's check it out. Captured in engine, by the way. Not all images appear in game. I love it when they do that. I love when they give me false game footage. It's so great. All right, everybody.
Each of you represents some of the most
more
powerful
microtransactions.
criminal organizations in the galaxy. Pikes, Crimson Dawn, Huts.
Do we need to audio jungle this one?
For the underworld.
No.
The Empire controls every corner.
It's a golden age for the underworld.
By a rebellion that won't quit.
The Empire controls everything. It's crazy. An opportunity to make millions.
The world's favorite new scoundrel. We meet at last.
What do you want?
Zarek Besh. They're new,
he looks familiar,
rich, and lethal. You crossed their boss Sliro, and now he
Now this is a completely original game. This is not a sequel to something else.
I will reveal it after this is done.
This job, it's a death wish.
Patience impressed.
I'm in.
Hair looks a little bit.
Out here, you live and die by your reputation. You want to survive? Know the players.
You're new to this world.
What's your problem?
Come back when you're not.
Jabba, right? Look, don't try anything. I got a whole crew
That
surrounding
outfit makes me think of Mara Jade.
For about as long as I can remember, it's just been me and Nix. Doing what we have to survive. This job is my one shot at freedom. But if we're gonna pull this off, we need the right crew. And the right ship.
I guess we did look at that earlier.
Hang on.
I hire you because you were one of the.
So what was that? Was that a demo? This is the real thing.
That was the E3 trailer.
She's more connected than you let on, Sliro. Bess is mixed up in something bigger.
The Outer Rim is a dangerous place. Everyone is fighting for their piece of the galaxy. But all I want is to live free. So I'm gonna risk it all. Hold on, Nick!
Star Wars Outlaws pre-order available now.
There you go.
That last shot, that reminds me of Jedi Academy, when you go to that desert planet.
I was kind of skeptical about this game because it looks similar to Jedi Survivor, and people are saying it's open world. It's all open world. What is open world in a Star Wars environment?
It'd be like that Mandalorian game. right?
No. Because I mean, I don't think that'll ever happen, like logistically, and maybe. But what I'm saying is, like, if they do say open world, it might be similar to that, like because there's going to be multiple planets, you can go and drop down and go see these worlds and everything. But they haven't really described what it is yet. They've done the gameplay walkthrough 10 months ago, and it wasn't E3. I said E3. I'm sorry. E3 was dead. This is during the like during their big event 10 months ago, and that showed some gameplay. And it was on one planet. She drove a speeder across like the countryside, ended up in a small city. She shot some people, said wanted. You know, after she did a short cutscene, and she jumped in a ship and went off into space. And there was like a pre-cutscene there, and a lot of games are doing this No Man's Sky version of gameplay where it's go where you want and do what you want to do. And
as long as what you want to do is land on the same planet.
We've been waiting on that for like the last decade, and we still haven't been given what we've promised. Now, No Man's Sky delivered finally after they fixed all their shit, but
they did finally.
Yeah, they did, but like this is one of those things where I don't know, like with Jedi Survivor, or even Jedi Fallen Order, it's fixed in a way where it's fun, it's enjoyable. You hop in a ship, you're going from planet to planet, and it's open world, as in like it's more of a Metroidvania. You're going through a smaller chunk of a planet, and you're going back to collect things. You're doing stuff. To me, you state open world as an open world is an environment that's living, breathing, has stuff to do, and it's big. Companies use the word open world to describe any environment that is free roaming. Could be empty, could have nothing in it, could just have a bunch of scenery in it that you can go in and explore and do whatever. This could be a game with 3 planets that you travel back and forth to, similar to a Metroidvania that you travel back and forth to. To a company like Ubisoft, Jedi Survivor is an open world title, in which to me it is not. Open world to any gaming company means that you can go back and forth and do whatever you want in a big environment. And how they state that is because look at any open world game in the last 10 years, or any indie open world title where they have a bunch of window dressing and it's main story and side quests, and that's it. There's no extra shit to do. An open world game to me, a true open world game to me, is something like Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption 2, Red Dead Redemption, even Driver could be because you are allowed to do shit. I'm trying to go way back to when they actually even classified smaller games as open world games. Mm-hmm. Because you were given the game, then you were given a free drive mode. And the original Mafia, they did that too. Things that are where you can go outside the game's limits. You can role play.
Yeah.
You're not just given an RPG-like environment.
Yeah.
Like a role-play-like environment, where it's, here's your main quest, and then a bunch of people who claim you're the hero give you quests too. Like, I'm tired of the Chosen One bullshit. I really am. It's really weird. It gets boring really fast. To me, games like Skyrim and Oblivion didn't do that, because you could sit at the tavern and have a drink, and yes, you kind of had to force your role play in there, but like you could listen to the bard sing. You are in an environment that is living and breathing and performing on its own. In Red Dead, every fucking character in that game has a routine. You can follow a dude as he wakes up in the morning, walks out, gets drunk, goes to work, goes to bed. And if you kill him, that cycle is over.
Yeah,
even
that's
sometimes
interesting.
even sometimes in that game, their family will come to avenge them.
Cool.
That's how detailed that game is. And fuck, Rockstar, like, they crunched the shit out of people with that game, and it was wrong. But that game is probably one of the most detailed games, and if you've never played Red Dead 2, you should probably play it, because it's a great story. Those people worked really hard, and to 100% that game is a feat. And I've played through it 4 times in the last, what?
I watched
since 2018.
It's
an amazing game. So, and the mods for it are fantastic. So,
yes, they are.
This game that they're showcasing here, there's
Ubisoft
a little short
just
here.
unveiled the first gameplay for its highly anticipated game Star Wars Outlaws,
hold on.
and we might have
Sorry.
a real banger at hand here. Here's everything
Banger.
you need to know.
Here's
Star
an AI
Wars
voice.
Outlaws is the first ever open world Star Wars game and set
First
to release
ever.
in 2024 on Xbox Series, PS5,
So-
and PC. Set between the events of Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back and Star Wars Return of the Jedi.
Okay, so that's another thing I wanted to release to you. It's supposed to be set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. So I don't know how relevant they really want to make that be, but they're already showcasing. Well, yeah, but they're already showcasing parts of technology and lore that are prequel based, and
but it's not following our favorite characters. It's other people.
Well, no,
right?
I don't care much about that. It's more the fact that they're using that commando droid is from the prequel, and that's fine. If they want to use decommissioned droids, that's fine. But Death Troopers are making a comeback. All sorts of stuff. They're ham hawking Disney shit in there, and like, as much as like that has to happen
for a game where
during
you're
the
throwing variety.
Well, during the OG trilogy, you don't see Death Troopers or anything, and people can say, "Well, they're off doing other things." No, to me, like that was Krennic's personal guard, right?
Yeah.
So
right, exactly. Yeah, I'm thinking of so many old debates that we had about like, are TIE fighters blue or are they gray?
Oh yeah, and there's there are new fighters in there too, and like I said, I don't know if those are Imperial fighters. You know, I'm making assumptions there, but
Vader's personal fleet, or
everybody wants to make a Star Wars universe their own, and like, great.
Yeah, they do.
There is enough timeline now, and there is so much shit available after and before that you can ham hock, or you can. I'm sorry, I'm using that word too much. You can force your own like story wherever you want there, but so many people want to do it during the prequel, around the prequel, before the original trilogy, after the original trilogy, and it's your people are fucking it up.
Yep.
So that's
bleeding it dry.
These are the things that I'm worried about, right? Inconsistency. Ubisoft has a really bad rep right now. They've had a bad rep for years, especially with Beyond Good and Evil. We mentioned that on a RantCast not too long ago about how they were being investigated for fraud, and how Beyond Good and Evil 2 was just meant to be used for tax evasion, because that game's never coming out.
And that was a weird situation.
And there's been a lot of once again, sexual scandals, abuse, and stuff going on in their workforce that has been noticed, addressed. Now we don't know if it's still going on, but that's stuff that's happened over the last 4 or 5 years. So, and people are just kind of like, "Oh, come on, check out the new games that are happening." And just also keep in mind, this game looks okay, but from the gameplay trailers and stuff, I don't know if they're using the Unreal Engine like EA has, but it has the same look and feel as the other Star Wars games does, where it looks good, but the movement and physics look really plasticky.
Yeah, they do. Think of that hair.
Yeah. So I don't know.
I mean, that makes me think of the WWE games, so like 2015.
Yeah, so like what I'm gonna say is that like if we're still running off the same game engine, I think there's a lot of inspiration or like other Star Wars games. Um, this had a lot of goals in mind.
If there's tons of action, I'm not going to be focused on the main character's hair. But if I'm staring at that hair the whole time,
no, I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking like if we're creating multiple open world or multiple big open worlds,
the gameplay matters more than the graphics to me.
So
yeah, just saying.
What I'm trying to point out here is how big are each planet going to be? If they say open world, what are we classifying as open world in a Star Wars game? Because open world means this fucking game's gonna be huge. Like,
what's a big empty planet?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is like, is all this shit gonna be pre-generated or like how are we doing this? So,
it's not multiplayer though; it's single player, right?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is like to me it's I don't know, it just seems weird. Because like I said, a lot of crafting games and stuff are open world, and they have a huge environment, but it's all lush jungle and empty space. So
Minecraft.
I mean, okay, so Minecraft even has its own like goal in mind. I'm talking about like the really weird indie games that state they're open world and it's all pre-generated garbage.
Okay.
So where I'm getting at is like I haven't seen anything that stated what this game truly is. There's a story trailer now that just gave me the story. There was a game trailer 10 months ago that gave me a snippet of gameplay from a level. And they're saying it's open world.
The weird running. Yeah, that didn't seem open world to me. I mean, it just looked like, made me think of Fallen Order or Jedi Survivor.
It had that GTA feel because of how like the game performed.
Oh yeah, you could jump into the vehicle, drive for a while, jump out.
Like I said, I'm gonna leave this to the big morons that are influencers. I'm calling them morons because they're gonna get they're not morons because they're gonna get it for free. But if they get it for free, whatever. But if they pay money for this game, that almost $80 is probably gonna cost, and then end up getting fucking scammed because it's
not open world.
No, it's not refundable. So, because Ubisoft doesn't do refunds, I don't think.
No refunds.
Now, this could turn out to be a great game. Could turn out not to be a great game. We'll see though.
Yep. And if it's not a good game, if it is a good game, he'll drink Crystal Pepsi on camera. No, just kidding.
I have Crystal Pepsi, but it's like as old as my oldest daughter. So
don't drink it. It's gonna be pure ethanol.
I'm going to tell you, if you make me drink that, I'm gonna be sad because it's my only thing of Crystal Pepsi.
It'll be like drinking like Dan Aykroyd's vodka out of the skull. You just don't do it.
Also, Ubisoft's one of Ubisoft's main executives is also one of the guys that said we need to be comfortable with not owning games. So yeah.
Well, you need to be comfortable with not getting my business. How about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this game. Yeah. This trailer only has 38K likes, and it was released 2 weeks ago. So let's keep that in mind.
How many dislikes is it getting ratioed?
I don't know. It doesn't show the dislikes, but like I said, this premiered 2 weeks ago, and it has only 38,000 people like it. For a Star Wars game, that's really tiny. So
yeah.
But like, I guess people did see that there was a dislike ratio here, but the comment section here is really bad. So I'm guessing there's more dislikes on this than likes.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Somebody pointed out the 37K likes versus 154K dislikes. So obviously this game's getting bad rap before it even gets released.
I mean, the whole point of these trailers and videos is to drum up hype about it.
It's to drum up pre-orders. They want pre-orders.
Yeah,
Ubisoft is still going off the pre-order.
Pre-orders. Okay, so your hype package is having a different effect than you intended.
Wait, the game's going to be $130? What?
What?
Hold on.
Oh, the microtransactions will pay for itself. Are there microtransactions? Do we need to ask? I guess
I'm going to find out how much the game is. Give me a second.
Why not?
Does it say how much the game is? Go to the pre-order section. How much? Oh, okay. No, standard is still only $70. Only,
50,000.
I say. You get but if you pre-order, you get their pre-order bonus. But they've got 3 other editions. They've got the gold edition for $109, which gives you 3 days early access, which is fucking stupid. I hate early access so much. It's just a way to get people to buy it for more. You get a season pass, which has always been a thing. And yeah. I hate season passes are just a scam because like you don't know what DLC is coming out. It could be 2 things and you're paying $20 for a season pass.
Yep.
They need to actually state what their DLC is before you buy a fucking season pass. The Ultimate Edition, which is $130, you get, which, by the way, this is what they're doing. They give you the game, the pre-order bonus, the season pass, the early access. Then they give you the pre-order content, the Infiltrator bundle, the Savage Shark bundle, and the digital art book, which usually those last 3 things come in the gold edition. They come with the upped price. So fucking insane that they think people are this stupid after fucking them more than once. Like, literally, if anybody, and I broadcast this I wish I could reach out to more people, because if I find somebody who actually buys this for $130, slap them across the face.
Star Wars Outlaws for $130. Wow.
Because you don't know.
For that kind of,
you don't know what this game's about.
I could buy TseuQuesT with all the retail.
You don't know what the game's fully about. You haven't seen it. Ubisoft's a horrible they're a horrible company to take a risk with. That's like walking up to somebody who's had an STD before and is telling you, "Don't worry, I don't have the disease right now, and we can still go unprotected." Would you do that?
Here we go.
And then they charge you like double the price to do that with. Like, would you voluntarily, catch a life-threatening disease and pay somebody money after getting fucked over more than once? Like, no, you wouldn't. But like for some reason people still like feel the need to buy day one from Ubisoft, and that drives me fucking insane.
Yeah, it is pretty weird.
The last weird decision I've ever made with a video game was Dragon's Dogma 2. And then before then, I think it was a Ubisoft game, but it was years ago. Buying into hype is bad. Now, Dragon's Dogma was because I had got my game for $15 and I bought into the hype again because I wanted to try it. And it was fun and it was horrible at the same time. And I made a stupid decision. And I've told people, don't ever follow my stupid decisions. I am not buying day one at $70. I am looking into this game before I even make the choice to buy it. Because I bet you 9 times out of 10, somebody's going to post a video on here on how bad the performance is, or how shitty something's going on, or the microtransactions. Something's going to come up. At least EA made the decision to make a Star Wars game that didn't have any of that shit in it. I bet you Ubisoft will not. Something's coming out of this game that's going to be awful.
Dastardly.
Sorry, there's my rant. Sorry.
RantCast.
Yeah, it's awful. $130. You trying to recoup that skull and bones loss? Oof.
It's rough. Well,
And the funny thing was,
I wasn't gonna get it. I'm very skeptical about Star Wars products to begin with.
So am
but
I. But I was surprised that Disney sold the or gave the IP went from EA to Ubisoft. It's like going from like, I don't know. It's like going from the Boogeyman to Freddy Krueger.
Like, how do you like prime time?
Yeah, it's going from one evil to another. Like, I don't understand. Like, all corporations are greedy, but at least you can find a corporation that's not fucking stupid. Like,
some are worse than others.
Like, God, I would have rather asked for CD Projekt Red to do this game than anything else, and not like even they made a stupid decision. But God, they don't have a history of fucking stupid decisions.
Ubisoft.
Man. If digital games aren't owned, piracy of them is not stealing. Indeed, amen. Don't give money to people who hate you.
Yeah. Smart. How smart are we?
None of these comments is positive. I'm going all the way down.
Wow.
And none of these are positive. Bro, look at this. It's vote with your wallet has come up more than once.
Hey, Wordicon. Yeah.
For real, this is like the perfect example, brother.
Voice like it sounds like it's from a mobile game riddled with MTX.
Microtransactions. Helldivers 2 is $40. Hell yeah, it is. Go buy yourself some Helldivers 2. Oh,
May the flop be with you. Disney's the worst thing you've ever happened to Star Wars. Well, it's putting it mildly.
Yeah, somebody looked up their dislike ratio because it's not great.
Yeah, that was one of the first things I turned back on, the dislikes for YouTube. It's like, I want to see. I just want to know who's hiding. Never believe Ubisoft until you try the game yourself.
Somebody really fucked up.
But can you try it without buying it?
Wow, really nice of them to make a PS3 game in 2024. Somebody's saying the graphics really suck.
You know what Star Wars fans would love? A female protagonist. Make sure the body is androgynous. You don't want any perverts finding her attractive. It goes on.
How about a huge Jay Leno-sized chin? Wow.
Dang. Hey, some guys might go for that, but this guy is not going for it. For an outfit that strongly resembles a Han Solo war. I was thinking Mara Jade, but yeah, pretty much. The jacket from like Empire.
Why not just make this a Han Solo game? I
mean, shoot.
We don't have any games based off the main characters anymore, and it's really sad. But at the same time, if you're gonna make an open world Star Wars game, you should have the ability to create your own character. And that's why I'm skeptical about this.
Back when George Lucas was in charge, I always heard that the reason they gave us characters like Dash Rendar and Kyle Katarn is because he didn't want games made where you could change the course of history with the main characters. And I was okay with that.
It was okay.
You know, you get new characters and they might have some similar qualities to ones that you remember, but
oh my god, dude,
do your own.
Did I even notice the chin, dude? I was being nice about it, man. Some of these comments are harsh.
Chin and jawline. Yeah.
Damn, bro. What the fuck?
Well, and I'm sure, well, I don't know. I guess I don't know about this game, but there have been several games where they make the main character and they're like, oh man, they're so ugly, they're so homely, they look terrible, and you're thinking, oh, that's so mean because they based it on a real person. But then you see the real person and it's like they don't look like that. They look like, fairly attractive, like a actress or whatever, and it's like, but then they made the character like fugly. Whatever. I don't know. Everybody's got their preferences, but yeah, it is kind of weird. How generic would you like your dialogue, sir? Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. 1.6 million views, 29,000 likes, 55,000 dislikes. Well, and I bet you there'd be somebody out there who would be defending this and saying, oh no, this is just review brigading. This is just people like, getting together to dislike it.
I'm saying right now, I haven't found a single positive review.
People do the same thing though. I mean, that it works both ways. If you say, oh, people are just going to spam the downvote, there's people that spam the upvote too. And in that competition, guess who won? The downvoters. Yep. So it tells you something. Hey, Verg.
What's up?
Yeah. So Star Wars Outlaws, it's not looking good.
Nope.
There's a lot of concerns, let's say.
Oh, man.
Oh, that Continental Breakfast one. That's a classic clip there. Key and Peele. Check that one out.
Oh, yeah. I have actually been kind of looking at it a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, there's certain ones that are just worth watching over and over.
I watched the one with it was like a public high school Hogwarts or something.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's a real rat. Like, oh shoot. Yeah, they're not all funny. I mean, there's some that I'm just like, what?
Wand with a silencer? Why?
They've definitely got some classics.
And to me, the only thing that I majorly don't like about this is the ship to me looks really generic. It's like a brick. Like you're flying a big old brick.
Sometimes you gotta fly a brick.
Like somebody did not want to design a ship and they were in a big hurry. Like I would really like to be in a world where, if I'm gonna play a really fucking nice game and pay a lot of money for it, I'd like to have characters and ships with actual work put into them. And like, here you can fly this big square.
Yeah.
Oh, good. If I wanted to do that, I'd play space games from like the early 1990s or
Little Space Invaders. Bro. Yeah. That was innovative. But now, what's your excuse? I mean, the Millennium Falcon is a pizza with a bite taken out of it. But it looks darn good compared to that. I mean, Han Solo drove a book. He drove a book. And he was alone, so you might say he was solo. Solo. But that was another story from another time. Yep. I'm getting a little loopy here. I'm sorry.
Star's End, it's all fake. All right, well, that's our show.
Everything you've heard about me is not true.
I'm going to play some Yakuzas.
All right. Don't kill anyone.
With that, the RantCast is over.
Yep, we covered a lot of things, and we learned a lot today. So
don't lie. You're fibbing up your butt. Don't lie.
Be good to each other and party on.
Party on, Wayne.
Party on, Garth.
All right, guys. With that, we're gonna conclude our show. I want to thank everybody for watching WaterCon. Thanks for joining.
Last comment. The main character's hair is probably due to her being raised by wolves.
Indeed.
You, sir, have won the internet.
I'm gonna be on here shortly for some Yakuzas. If you want to hear me imitate poorly with the voices, because that's how I do. Because I read the text that the characters say, and I mock the voices really bad. But yeah. Then you
Like
can come
Mr.
join
Science
me.
Theater.
You can join me at a Strange Bus.
Polsky. Jedi Survivor is now in Game Pass on PC. I just saw. He says
that's a great game. Go buy it and watch your performance drop horribly. I'm just now getting back into that game after feeling uber salty about the game fucking up right at the ending. So
yeah. Buy? No, I have Game Pass. So he's saying he gets it for free.
Oh, okay.
To rent. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. No! Stop it. This is crap.
It's the RantCast.
You idiot. I can't even talk like Walken at this time. My voice is all messed up. Needs more spice. Game Pass? What is that? Get out of here with that foolishness.
Get out of here with your passing games around.
You crazy kid. You numbskull.
I'm about to sit down and let you go, but anyway.
I'm retired. Do it anymore.
Have a great night, everybody. If you aren't staying tuned, take care. If not, the Strangeless stream will be starting here in a couple minutes. Have a great night, everybody. We'll catch you next time on the next RantCast. See you later.
RantCast. Yeah.